Oh, everybody. Hey, everyone. This is Michael Silvers here. I'll leave that bigger. I wanted to welcome everybody to the stream today. Michael Silvers with Power Team. You are on Power Team Summit today. We're excited to have everybody on. The great part about this is go ahead and open up your streams. So what I'm going to do right now, there we go. What I'm going to, and everybody's texting. We got quite the day. What I'd like you to do, first of all, go ahead and open your Facebook. I'm doing the same thing right now, and you're going to see it go live. And please share your screen. We've got an incredible day today with a VIP panel to start to rock the world. Then we have Darryl. There, I'm hearing myself right now say, how is that? And I'm going to share the watch party. There we go. All right, I started a watch party. Fantastic. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Twitch and I'm going to host. And on Twitch, what you want to do is you open up the channel. So I'm going to go ahead and find, very simply, Power Team Global. There it is. You're going to hear me again. I'll turn the sound down. And I'm going to host it. So it's a little up arrow on the top, hosting a channel. Fantastic. So if everybody could do that right now, we've got an incredibly powerful day today. We've got a VIP panel starting in just a couple minutes. At 3:30, we have Darryl Miner, Senior Vice President for iHEART Media. Very exciting. We're going to talk about one of the best games on the planet. We're then going to go into internet, really the internet marketing, social media, and funnels, and how you create income online. Then we're going to move into Jacqueline Frank, really, again, one of the great networkers on the planet, and we'll teach you about her and what she does. We're then going to have another incredible VIP panel. And the VIP panels are great because you get different perspectives of how people are doing it, and they're short and sweet and to the point. Then Mr. Bill Walsh, our CEO, is going to walk you through really creating that life of your dreams, what you need to do now and how to do it. And then again, I'm going to close it out at 6:30, and I'm going to talk about masterminds, how you develop that within your business, and how to actually take everything you learned today and consolidate it into one fell swoop, which is really exciting. So I wanted to thank everybody for being on the phone today, as we say, on the line, on the internet, wherever you are. Now, a couple things. First of all, this is interactive, which means you can post and ask questions. And when you ask the questions, we can see them pop up because I can go to my Twitch right now and ask a question. And we're not on television right now. This is interactive, so we will answer those questions. The speakers are ready to do that too. We'll also give you a way how to connect with us because we do have 300 live events a year, plus we have a huge virtual suite. We're going to have huge virtual summits. We've been doing that literally since the end of March. We also have masterminds online we'd love to invite you to so you can find out more. And big 1-day, 2-day events virtually. So again, we're very happy to have you all on. Power Team, just very simply, I'm going to keep this simple. We go much deeper into it, but Mr. Bill Walsh did turnarounds for 10 years and really took his business to the next level, took 2 years off, and in 2005 launched Rainmaker, 2.5-day business summit, which is one of the most amazing courses I've ever taken. By 2007, started a virtual fund for small businesses to get that start and to get them going. 2008 created our own Win Global Mastermind to take people around the world with some of the top leaders in the top businesses. And you really be able to, it's very different when you're working with people sitting on a beach than when you're in a classroom. It makes a difference. It's a different relationship. And then as we, really move that process forward, Bill took 2 years off and took a look at how to be the best speaker on the planet. Hey, Hollywood, California. And you can tell us where you're from, by the way, in your name. We always love to say hello to everybody. By 2010, created the Platinum Speaker Camp, which, again, is one of the best courses on the planet. If you want to speak to sell or speak on stage, and speak virtually within 60 days or less and get it done, Platinum Speaker Camp is where you want to be. 2011, partnered with the Small Business Expos, really became the major sponsor. And that went on for almost 8 years, and that put us in front of 100,000 businesses plus a year. Created a whole internet marketing division and really how to create that funnel in your business, no matter what business you're in. Created what's called the Gold Program, which is our masterminds around the country. We have 35 of them. We have a virtual virtual suite of masterminds. We have facilitators, members, and built that out. We have a coaching division. We have the small business advisor. We have many different divisions we'd love you all to be part of. And just to let everybody know, we're always looking for more speakers, trainers, and coaches. We'll talk about that more later. Stay on. That's what you do. Stay on, get it done, get the information. Hey, Wendy from Toronto. Hey, Don, Saskatchewan. And get that information and really, 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 really be part of this expansive team that's growing. My name is Michael Silvers again. I am Executive Vice President for Global Training for Power Team. We have a brilliant day. Canada's in the house. For those of you to connect with us now. Make a difference in your life and connect with us right now. I'm going to do this one time today, and if you want to connect with me, write this down. We don't have to put it on the stream. If you do, that's fine. Text the word, actually it's letters, SBA to 26786. You're going to get driven right to me, and I'll set up calls right with you. But that's only if you're serious. If you're a speaker, a trainer, a coach, a really rock and roll in business, and you just want to take it to the next level, you want to be part of a group that has 300 events, has a ton of, obviously, marketing and everything that we do, and at the same time driving all of you to that next level, just very simply text SBA to 26786. So we're excited to have the day. Now, what I'd like you to do, Lent is in the house. That's right, Dr. Wendy. What I'd like you to do is, first of all, get ready to go, because I'm going to start with the panel in just 2.5 minutes. Get something to drink, and, we should get like sponsorship fees, but there's my Pellegrino ready to go. Using a restroom is okay. It's a 4-hour stream. If you can't hold it, 4-hour stream, isn't that? I didn't even mean to say that. And get ready to really rock this thing. Now, don't forget to share it on your Facebook. I already created the Facebook channel and I moved that out. Host it on your Twitch. Take the YouTube channel and share them with everybody that you know, because we're going to have a rockin' day. A whole bunch of people I saw just jumped on, so I'm going to give you a little rundown of the day. It's a great day. It's a great day. It's a great day. Everybody got that? We have everybody on from Darryl Miner with iHEART Media to Jacqueline Frank, one of the greatest networkers on the planet. We have Mr. Bill Walsh, who created this whole industry of what we do, and it just gets better and better and better and better. All right, fantastic. We're going to bring on the panelists now. It's a great day to have the panel. I see one of the panelists is walking around, which is always a good thing to see. And I'm going to bring them on, and we're going to have a chat. Here we go. Let's give it up with a big thunderous round of applause for Dan McPherson, Andrew McCauley, Chelsea Colley, and Dr. Wendy Labatt. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Awesome.
It's a great day.
It is amazing. Isn't it a great day? You got to love what you do every single day. All right, so here we go. Questions. So nobody knows who you are. Isn't that a great thing to start with? And you all come from different backgrounds. And they, by the way, when you run a panel, everyone, the panelists all know every question's about a minute, because if not, we're going to be here for 3 hours. And I love you guys dearly, but we got a lot of stuff to do. Could you tell us in a short tidbit a little bit about yourself, your background, and really what you're bringing out to the world? We'll start with, let's see, I'll start different this time. Let's start with Wendy.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Perfect.
All right, great. Hi, I'm Dr. Wendy Labatt. I'm also known as the financial healer, and I help people take control of their finances to be able to enjoy financial freedom and live the life they desire.
Awesome. Oh, Wendy, you just get right to it. I love it. You're fantastic. Chelsea, you go next. Ladies first today.
Yes, sir. I am Chelsea Colley. I am an empowerment specialist, so I help women and moms dream big and create their roadmap and achieve massive results in a matter of perfecting the 90-day game plan. So it's not about time management, it's all about energy management within your time. And if you knew how you were going to feel ahead of time, you could be able to schedule out the next 12 weeks so you could get done more than you can do in a year in the next 90 days. So it really is the key to moving mountains in a short period of time.
Awesome. Fantastic. And Chelsea, we're going to have you just mute yourself when you're not talking, because we have a little wind background. Fantastic. All right, Andrew.
Hey, Michael. Hey, everybody. Great to be back on here again. Essentially, in a nutshell, I help businesses get online, get found online, and get their message out through various platforms, whether it's social media, digital video, you name it. If it's online, I've probably been involved with it somewhere, and love doing this for all my clients.
Fantastic. Amazing. And everybody, I have traveled the world with Mr. McCauley. So he's brilliant at what he does. And he's literally had students all over the world and also had some fairly high rankings in the social media world. So very well done. All right, Dan.
Yes, I believe passionately that people matter most and relationships are everything. And through growing up in just a lot of crazy situations, being involved with abuse and drugs and violence and all kinds of crazy stuff, a lot of poverty, I came out of that wanting no one to ever feel like I did. And I went through a 25-year career where I was searching for fulfillment and finding a great deal of success in the corporate world with managing hundreds of millions of dollars and thousands of people. And I stopped all of it. I walked away from all of it so that I could help the people who felt like I did, women entrepreneurs, creatives, and people in the LGBTQ community in particular, to achieve their dreams and inspire true generational change in the world. And I do that through mindset and business coaching and also lots of fun speaking opportunities.
All right, fantastic. I wanted to welcome you all for being on the panel today. You guys are great. Now, something inspires us, right? We've all had that inspiration. For me, and you can say the same thing, it's okay, but it was a book called Think and Grow Rich for me 21 years ago, 22. My wife and I read it. And it's funny because we had a gentleman named Bob Proctor say, read it right cover to cover, but take your time while you read it. Pick the pieces out, spend some time on it, which is what we did. And it really changed, I think, the way we looked at money, the way we looked at finance, but the way we looked at our own mindset and what we were going to do, and the power of the mastermind, which I'll talk about later today. So nowadays, with the generation, there's also YouTube influences and influences that are out there. But for each one of you, what is a great book, or it could be a YouTube channel, or what is influencing you right now or influenced you in the past to bring you to where you are today? I will now start with the gentleman, Andrew.
I'm going to go with a podcast today. James Wedmore is a guy who's been in my space. You know him, Michael. His podcast is, I think it's called the Great Business Podcast. Whatever his new podcast is, I can't remember the name of it now. It's fantastic. It's got a lot of great interviewee subjects, lots of valuable information. He's been through, if you're an entrepreneur, he's been from the start. He's worked his way through, got his messaging right. I just love what that guy's been doing. Very humble guy too. So something that it's been on my radar and listening to my play in the car when I'm driving.
And it is true, because it is that everybody knows podcasting, right? That's what's happening. It's interesting, some of the guests we have on today. And is because I know the other one was, and was what, Business by Design, right? That was
Business by Design. Mind your business. Yeah. Mind your business podcast
by design. Right. Yeah. And it's great because even in the title, there's something that's attractive to it. But it is true. The influences that we've had in our past is now how it influences us now is just amazing to see how the world is changing and shifting. Dan.
Yeah, I think today I'll tag off of Andrew there and take a podcast as well. Tim Ferriss's podcast was incredibly connecting for me. It was a lot of the inspiration for me to start my company, and just hearing all the different highly successful people that he interviewed and the incredible depth of questions and routines that he provided so that you could see patterns across all of them. I found that incredibly influential.
Yeah, it's great. I'm actually looking up some of the people you type too. I know them, but it's amazing what we can do nowadays, how we can search and find and really there's so much online. And also there's still that part, that one-on-one. Does that make sense? Or being able to spend time with people makes a difference. But Dan, thank you so much. Wendy.
I would have to say now the 12-week year, and I can't think of there are two authors that I'm having a senior moment right now, but that book is helping me because there's so much going on. You're staying so busy, but you got to be organized. And the 12-week year has been a real big influence for me lately.
Oh, and it's interesting how I know I saw Chelsea having to drop away for a minute, but there are those, there she is. There are all those things that influence us from our past now and then actually sort of come full circle. How many of you Think and Grow Rich has suddenly popped up in your life again, just because of everything going on, right? It's amazing, isn't that? So thank you. Chelsea, I'm going to pop you back on the stream. Chelsea's gone again. Okay. So they come, they go, and you just go with the flow. By the way, for all of you out there, if you want to connect with anybody on the stream today who are in the panels, you can go to www.ipowerteam.com/freedom. They will get your information and they will connect with you, and everyone on this panel is offering to do a coaching session with you, and I know they will. Raise their hand. There we go. Okay, they're excited, and they'll really help take you to that next level. What I want you to do is come prepared, and if you really don't know what it is or who you're trying to connect with, they will help direct you to, because they know everybody on the panel and they can always redirect it to me, and I'm happy to do that. So you have a little bit about who you are, and it's also what has created you, or what's working towards you now. If I'm coming into business as a brand new or in business, what are 3 things I should do right now? 3 things I should do right now with what you teach or train that I could take away from this panel and use it immediately. Wendy.
I would say the first thing is diagnose your financial health, because a lot of people think that they don't have the money to do what they want to do. But when you really look at your financial situation, you have funds there that you may need to redirect to focus on your project.
That's huge, actually. That's a whole conversation, right, Wendy?
Yeah, it is.
Because people are really they are talking about that right, left, and I think they're a little bit lost, so they're not doing anything right now.
That's right.
You've seen that?
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Wendy.
Okay, so do you want me to give my 3 or just one?
Yeah, go ahead and give your 3. No, that's fine.
Okay, that's one thing. And then proper protection. As entrepreneurs, we tend to put that at the bottom of the totem pole. But being a breast cancer conqueror, I can testify that proper protection will prevent financial ruin. So that's number 2. And then number 3 is just be passionate and about what you do. Make sure what you're about to do is what you're passionate about. I guess is what I'm trying to say. If you're not passionate about it, then it may not be what you're supposed to be doing.
Right. And that's sort of what gets you up in the morning, isn't it? Also, it's why would you want to do something you get up in the morning? Now, if you got to pay your bills, you pay your bills. It's called a job. There's nothing wrong with that. Right. Right. So many people say, well, yes, no, you still work until that residual income is at least 6 months to a year of covering the bills and doing what it takes. Look what Jim Rohn always said, right? In that first 2 years. And for those of you who've never read Jim Rohn, read Jim Rohn, listen to Jim Rohn. Jim, last name Rohn. But he made more money in the first 2 years when he was still working because he had a limited amount of time, but he used it well. And that makes a big difference. Dan.
The 3 things I would say today, first, are to connect with more people. That's always going to be my first one, because people truly matter most. And the more people that you meet, the more that you will learn. I challenge you to pick one each day and have a real conversation, 30 minutes plus, to meet and learn and get to know that person. I think secondly is look at your self-imposed barriers. Start to look at the things that are restrictions that are within your life, whether you have thoughts around price and value, and you find yourself getting bound up about selling something or presenting your own value, or whether you get bound up about traveling around the world or feeling like something's difficult, and work to overcome those barriers. And then finally, live in gratitude. Choose to have a gratitude practice every day. Write down 3 non-repetitive things that you are grateful for. And the crazy thing is, if you do that and you do it for 2.5 weeks, it will change your brain chemistry. And 12 hours later, even though it only took you 2.5 minutes, you will be living in an attitude of gratitude towards everything you encounter.
I think that's a great, because what you hear a lot now is I don't have the time. And it's really interesting because a lot of people I know working from home right now or trying to work from home, you don't have the time. We need to talk about your schedule. But they're feeling the crush, right? They're feeling the pressure financially or whatever it is. So it's great that you're all giving them something they can do in a short tidbit, because sometimes you need those neurologically, those little wins, just to because your mind, you'll always go to what feels good. There is that part we're wired. So if you could get a little bit of, oh, okay, this works, you'll keep doing what you'll say you're going to do. So Dan, that's great. Andrew.
Michael, I've been saying this for probably 15 years, is build a list so you have a list of people that you can market to when you want to market to them. So build a list is number one. Like Dan's point, network, one of the early quotes that I remember well is your network is your net worth. And the more you can build on that network and get to know people, not just a Facebook network full of people you don't know, but really, really get to know who these people are, reach out to them, have a cyber coffee or a Zoom call or whatever it is. But the more you get to know it, the more your value will go up. And then finally, number 3 would be get a mentor. Find somebody who's already at where you want to be. And it doesn't have to be someone that's super far advanced. It may be just a couple of steps ahead of you. How do they get there? What do they do to get there? And once you've got to that mentor, you might pass them up along the way, which is fairly common thing. Once you pass them up, then go and find a new mentor and move on, so that you keep going ahead with a mentor that's a few steps ahead of you all the way.
That's great. And it is really, it makes a difference to have that mentor, because, the thing that people get confused is the mentor is not the one who's always going to kick you behind, right? That's, get the coaches behind you, but the mentor gives you the vision and you see their why, which becomes so big, you want to gravitate towards them. I always talk about that with Bill, right? Bill Walsh has a big why and a big focus and vision, which I think draws the team in that direction, which is great. But I also talk about, and I will talk about this later when I talk about masterminds and building our funnels in your businesses, is to have 3 coaches, 2 mentors, and a mastermind. And I really want those coaches in your life to just kick your behind, to keep it moving, to keep it going. The mentors to have that vision, and the mastermind is a group of individuals that work together harder for your business than your own business. But that's a minimum to start that part of what we do. So, you guys are amazing. And what I'd like to do is talk a little bit about what gets you up every morning, right? I know we talked about tidbits, thing you should do, the gratitude, but really what gets you up every morning? And somebody once said that, we did this in the Midwest, what cranks your tractor, but really what gets you up in the morning and what gets you going? Dan.
For me, it's knowing that I'm living my purpose in the world each day, and that I'm very clear about my North Star. My North Star is to significantly and positively impact the lives of 1 million creatives and entrepreneurs, to give them the foundations of success they need to achieve their dreams. And in doing that they in turn will inspire generational change in the world and reduce the larger problems of the world, like racism and human trafficking, poverty, and hunger. And that every single day I wake up pushed towards that, because I drove to truly understand my deep driven North Star.
Awesome. Fantastic. Wendy.
Okay, for me, I guess it's, I'm like Dan, I'm on a crusade to empower people to take control of their finances, because so many people are hurting financially, and it's not necessarily that they're not working to do better. It's just that they may not understand how to win the money game. So I get up inspired to help people learn how to win the money game and do better, and be blessed to be a blessing to others.
Awesome. Fantastic. Andrew.
I think I've got 2. One is my family. I've got 2 young boys who are very impressionable, and I've got to be setting the right example. So I love the fact that they're watching what I'm doing. They're little entrepreneurs themselves, so they're modeling that. So I'm going to make sure I'm doing the right thing every morning when I'm getting up. And the second thing is education. I've always been an educator. Love teaching people this complex situation of online marketing and digital media stuff. I think it's a gift that I've had for a long time. I've been able to understand it, and hopefully I can share it easily enough for people to understand, so that they're not getting confused or overwhelmed with what's going on out there, because it's changing rapidly. It's hard for people to keep up. So that's my goal, is to make sure people are keeping up and doing what they need to do rather than what everyone else is telling them to do.
That's right. And it's also, I think it is that legacy piece. And thank you for saying about because for me, it's the grandkids. Of course, then my kids always say, what about us? But it's that it gets me up in the morning. I look at my wife and she's amazing. But it's the grandkids. It's what are we leaving to that next generation? What are we going to be able to do for them, and how can I make an impact? So Andrew, it is looking about what is next and being able to see that big picture and the vision, because I'll always say you did, from what I know, was it 2006 or 7, one of the original shows online. And you and Toby literally traveled the world doing this show, the Andrew and Toby show, right? I don't even remember the exact name. You can say it. It's okay. I'm sure it lives somewhere. But you were already forward thinking, and you were taking a look at not what's going on then, but what's potentially coming as you built what you did internationally. And you've been online since, would you say, 2006?
Well, I built my first website in 1996, but
Right.
social media-wise, 2006. One of the early adopters on Facebook and stuff. But go back to your point. I think I've loved that quote where Wayne Gretzky says, "I go to where the puck is going, not to where it is." And it's a big motto of mine, is to be like, where is the next thing going to be, so that I'm already there and ahead of it before I'm reacting retrospectively.
That's right. And that's huge. This is an amazing panel. And I've got one other just really quick before I let you guys go. But to work with any of them, and this group is an amazing group. I've got the little ticker tape going down below. I feel like I'm CNBC here, but it's I love this ticker tape. It's www.ipowerteam.com/freedom. You'll see a drop down menu with all the different names. Find their name, and again, fill out the information. They'll get that information, and they'd be happy to work with you. If for any reason you can't find any of them, our team would be happy to help you on that site. There's our information, and you can always text SBA to 26786 to reach me directly. We will direct you where you need to go. We are here to take care of you. We are here to make a difference, and we are Power Team. And this is really an amazing group I have on here, because some of you I've known for a while, some of you are known for a long while. And you'll jump on, you'll help, you'll be there of service. You've done amazing things with your clients. I always tell the story, Andrew, I'm going to do it one more time, but what makes a difference is when you're sitting. We did an event in Ali Pali in London back in 2007, and couldn't get food, and there was only this one McDonald's anywhere near us at midnight after a 12-hour day. We had 5,000 people in the room, and Andrew and 3 other Aussies made it happen. They didn't want to serve us. They didn't want because we didn't have a car, and it's a drive-through, and it's pouring rain. And they finally got them. We were basically going to crawl in somebody else's car. But Andrew got me fed, and my wife fed. You never forget things like that, right? The 3 Aussies took care of the Americans in London too, on top of it, right? But it's that doing for others no matter what. So this is a short 10 or 15 seconds. Being of service is critically important. Tell me in your life what it's done or what you've done for others. Wendy, go.
Oh, wow. I believe in doing something for somebody every day. I've done the, pay it forward. I've gone, my spirit will tell me, okay, pay for this person's meal or pay for that person's groceries. And I, whatever the spirit leads me to do, I do it. So I kind of operate like that on a daily basis.
Awesome. Fantastic. Dan.
It's very simple. Do everything that I can do to help others win, and I know the rest will take care of itself. Give first, and the rest will come.
Awesome. Andrew.
Whatever it takes, whether it's volunteering on boards or helping people just navigate wherever they're doing it, whatever format that takes, do it. You get so much more reward out of it than you'll ever know. So, yeah, do it.
Awesome. Fantastic. I want to give you all a round of applause. Please connect with them. They also are very sharp about what's going on now online and virtually. And a lot of us are involved with podcasting and channels and YouTube and Twitch. I could just go on and on and on. You're right. Right. And media and iHEART. I mean, it just goes beyond anything that is going on right now, how we get our messages across. And what's interesting, and I'm going to go into our next speaker. I'm going to bring Bill on in a second. But you all come from actually traditional backgrounds, brick and mortar, sales teams. So this is not where we started, but this is where we are right now, and we're very excited about that. So for those of you in brick and mortar, this is the future. You got it right here. Dr. Wendy, Andrew, and Dan, please give yourselves a round of applause for being in. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. You are amazing. Goodbye, everyone. I'm going to take you off the stream. There goes 1, there goes 2, there goes 3. That's what's called an amazing panel. And that panel will change the universe, as we say. So we've got just about a minute here. I want everybody to take a quick stretch. Do not go anywhere. But if you would like to schedule with any of our VIP panelists, all I need you to do is to go ahead and very simply go to ipowerteam.com/freedom. ipowerteam.com/freedom. You know, it's an amazing day as we really take a look at all that we're doing. I'm actually doing one text. Okay, there we go, because we talk as a team. This is how we talk as a team. You know, it's that communication piece that makes a whole difference. Okay. But it's really, okay. So I want you to get into your mindset that you're going to be blown away all day, and the information gets better and better and better. The gentleman we're going to bring on in a couple minutes, I'm going to bring on Bill first, and I'm going to introduce him quickly, and he's going to bring on this gentleman, is part of the powerhouse of what's going on in the world today. We really set our intention to be better at what we do and to put it into a business paradigm. So everybody out there should be creating what's called a funnel. How everything I'm learning today, how am I going to use it immediately in my business? And I'll draw out the funnel later. I go through it for almost half an hour. Business funnel, how it locks in, who comes into the funnel. Does that make sense? What are the first contacts? What am I setting up? Is it coaching, training? Is it media? Is it my podcast that brings people in? How do I monetize? Creating the funnel of the monetization. Does that make sense? And then where do they end up in this funnel, which is just a path? That's a critical piece, because what I find so many times is people don't know how to monetize. We can create, it's really easy to get out there online, but the monetization piece is where a lot of people get stuck. And I am happy to help everybody with that today. I will be speaking towards the end because I think it's about the speakers and the people we're bringing on today. But I will be on at the end to wrap it up, and I will go through business questions. I'll look at monetization, whether you've got a podcast, a YouTube channel, if you're in entertainment, if you have a brick and mortar, if you're a dentist, a doctor, whatever it is. We'll create a funnel. We'll build it out for you, and I'll also spend some personal time if anybody needs. We're happy to do that because it's about us giving back to you. This is our time. This is how we give back to you. This is how we become better at what we do, to have you become better at what you do. And that's a critical piece. And so if you look at just even who's going to be on today, right? It's to give you that networking and everything else that you need, and to bring the brilliance in that you are. So with saying about brilliance, I'd like to introduce the man about town. He's been all around the world, spoken on all the big stages, created this powerhouse of a power team. And I talked about that earlier. Let's give it up for Mr. Bill Walsh.
What's up, Mr. Silvers? You're doing a great job as always. Thanks for plugging in. I know we've got a great guest coming up now. It's always rare when you get these really great innovators to jump on and share some of their brilliance. If you're at home, everybody, Joella, welcome. This is a good time for everyone to grab a pad of paper and a pen. You're going to be blown away with some incredible content. This section of the broadcast will be sent back out to over 200,000 of some of our customers around the world. But this is a good time to take a lot of notes, because our next speaker is actually someone that's been in the media business for 30 years. I read this just so you know that he started out, he was actually a DJ, and then he did radio sales and, of course, sales management. And now he manages, there's a couple SVPs, but with one of the largest media companies in the world. I know you've all heard of iHEART Radio. Well, this is actually iHEART Media. This is a massive conglomerate that literally, and I want you to write this down, they are absolutely what you would consider your all-in-one digital advertising partner. They make it super easy for you to get your message out worldwide. I don't care if your budget is $1,000 a month or $1 million a month, they can help you with your media. So I want everybody, once again, take some great notes. I'm going to bring on our guest speaker here in a moment. You do not want to miss any word that he has to say. Let me see if I can get Darryl Miner on. I believe he's on the East Coast here. Let's see if we can get him on here. Darryl, how are you?
I'm good. I'm on the West Coast.
West
So,
Coast. Okay.
yeah, it's earlier and hotter. It's my
14
guess.
degrees here in Vegas.
Yeah, it's 102 here where I'm at, so pretty close.
Well, listen, thanks so much for jumping on. And if you wouldn't mind, maybe you could share a bit of your story, a bit more of your story, and then really just kind of dive into, why every small business needs to team up with someone like iHEART Media today, especially in this new economy. I'm going to turn this over to you for a bit. Go ahead.
Great, and I'd love to share my screen. And thank you, everybody, for allowing me the time to kind of join you today and talk about what is almost become cliche now, which is what is our new normal going to be like? It's a very interesting time right now to be a business, and it certainly has been for us on the advertising and marketing side as well. iHeart Media is as Bill mentioned, is much more than just radio. Obviously, that's what you probably know a lot about is the radio piece with over 850 stations and the iHeart Radio app that you've hopefully come to know and love. But we really are here to be that multi-platform kind of one-stop shop for you. But what we're going to talk about today, I think even more, and maybe I should be able to share my screen. Let me make sure I do this right. There we go. Is about what we're seeing from a reopening standpoint, right? We launched a few months ago with a presentation that was similar to this, but we obviously know a lot more about the pandemic and how it's impacted consumers, which was kind of an in-home marketing thing. People went very quickly from working and commuting and doing all those things to an environment where we were spending far more time at home. And that has had an impact on the consumer, not only right now, but probably indefinitely. There's already plenty of statistics that are being shared with us that like, I made this change and have made this change during COVID-19 pandemic. And most of that change is going to stick with me as a consumer. And so how do you adjust to that as a business? And I think that's a big part of what we'll be talking about today. And that I'm hoping to share with you in that regard. So let's talk about that, right? So as states start to reopen, consumer behaviors have obviously changed. You're not just a business owner or work for a business, you're a consumer too. So there's no doubt in my mind that you're keenly aware of the changes that have been made, and business as usual doesn't really necessarily exist anymore. So the topics we're going to talk about during what we hope is to be this reopening phase, and for some states may turn into a reopening, reopening phase, which is why, a big focus for us today will be about being nimble, but not being silent. Right? We're going to cover some of the research and insights that we're seeing, and probably most importantly, we're going to talk about what that means to you as a business person and an advertiser in terms of messaging and the tactical adjustments you may need to make and almost certainly do. But the end goal of today's conversation in just a short amount of time is to try and give you as many data points as we can give you and relate those back to giving you the necessary tools and strategy to move forward. And there will also be obviously a little bit about how iHeart can help you. Everybody on this in this meeting is going to have a different scenario, but that's okay. Bill mentioned it, 1,000 million your budgets don't necessarily matter in this context. We want to help you and be partners. At the end of the day, we have what you need, which is customers. And as our CEO likes to say, we are going to lend those listeners and those digital customers out to you. And that's the way that works. So without further ado, let's jump into some of this and hopefully you can get a lot out. This was a fascinating stat. It takes 66 days to develop a new habit. Well, guess what? We've already passed 66 days in this pandemic, and consumers have clearly been put into a situation where they have new or at least adjusted habits. And we have seen some interesting shifts. For example, the most obvious and a big topic right now is wearing masks and social distancing in stores is really the new normal in many places. One of my favorite stats is pajama sales are up 143% and pants sales are down 13% as the country shifts. Not going to lie, you're seeing what I hope you think is a fairly nice shirt, but it's 102 here today, as I mentioned, and there's shorts underneath this shirt. So pajama sales up, pants sales down is a fun stat for you. But maybe more relevant to everyone on this call is that media consumption and entertainment habits have definitely changed as well. Prior to COVID-19, audio was already hot and seeing considerable growth. That includes, broadcast radio, streaming, podcasts, especially the use of smart speakers and connected devices. But since the beginning of COVID-19 and the quarantines, audio consumption has exploded even more. And we'll talk a little bit about that. In fact, overall listening to audio is up something like 60% compared to pre-COVID levels. So it's been very interesting to see that growth, and good for us as a radio company, but it's not the only place, right? Increase in video usage, and specifically streaming video usage, has really blown up. Nielsen published a stat that in the weeks leading into quarantine, 75% of households in America purchased a connected TV device or signed up for a streaming TV service. That kind of thing changes the dynamic of how you can get to people. And as anticipated, many of these shifts, as I mentioned earlier, are actually going to stick. Maybe not to all levels. Maybe people will be in their cars more than they were 6-7 weeks ago. But at the end of the day, they have now changed habits because they've been doing this long enough. All right. Now, not surprisingly, business as usual. If you want to call it that, the usual has changed. What you do tomorrow will surely be different than it was before. And as you re-invite customers back into your place of business, how you operate is already changing, and will change probably even more, and make adjustments. But what I'd like to do for the purposes of the next few minutes is for you to think about what you did when you opened the first time, right? Think about what your grand opening was like. Was it kind of stereotypical where you had a ribbon cutting, or maybe you had a DJ or somebody at your place of business, or you did a big media blitz or things like that? Be thinking about what you did, and I would almost guarantee you that 100% of you are going to say, I didn't do nothing. I wasn't silent. I didn't go dark, right? I made an effort to launch my business in a way. That is kind of the mindset you want to be in now. And there are really kind of 3 buckets where that becomes really important. Because if you go back and you think about what you did, there were key areas of focus that had to come into your mind, whether you thought about them in these specific buckets or not. I think you'll agree that this is the way it works, right? Consumers need to both buy into your product or service, and now you add that additional element of feeling safe to come into your place of business. So trust is super important right now, more so than ever. Like, it was always important, but you had an opportunity to kind of develop trust over time with consumers coming in and experiencing your business. Now you need to be a little more blatant with that trust statement, right? The second one is reach, and we'll talk a little bit about the amount of consumers, and now that reliance on frequent consumers is in jeopardy, right? You need to build more new because they've changed all these habits. You have to have a situation where you are going to have to rethink how you may have done this. And that's why we call this kind of a grand reopening. Is I don't want to say it's a blank slate for what you're trying to do, but it certainly is not going to be able to build off of the same process that you had before. And then the last one is really messaging. I think messaging was probably overlooked in general. A lot of people think about their marketing strategies without giving as much thought to the messaging, which is maybe a miss in a lot of cases, but it is 100% critical right now. And we'll talk a little bit about that. But let's start with trust, right? As a consumer yourself, as we mentioned earlier, you can probably think of several businesses that have furthered their presence in your mind as a consumer during the pandemic. Based on a recent study that was done by Edelman, the Edelman Trust Barometer study, it stresses the importance of trust, especially coming out of a crisis, right? 83% of people need affirmation that you care as a business, that you care, that it's not all about making money. 84% want you to be a source of information. I want to know what your business is doing, not just what you're selling. And also, and this is really developed because the survey was taking more recently, is 89% don't want to just hear the cliche, not just the taglines of new normal and things like that, but the slow piano music. They want some energy behind it, but they want to know that you're being thoughtful in your messaging in a trust environment. So it's super important that it matches consumer sentiment. And so we wanted to share some of those consumer sentiments with you. So it really does revolve around trust. Next, reach. Let's talk about reach in terms of the amount of consumers that you need to go after to try and regrow your business. It's super important that you cast a wide net right now, right? You can't simply rely in this new normal. You can't simply rely on what it was. Pre-COVID, businesses fell into really kind of three groups, and it's illustrated here in this pie chart with frequent, new potential, and infrequent customers. But right now, you can almost remove frequent customers or even infrequent customers from this equation. You have to treat this like you're opening again in a lot of cases. Many businesses, in fact, have been closed, those non-essential businesses. So it is truly a reopening for you. I think about how consumers have changed, and a really obvious example is food delivery services. During the pandemic, a lot of consumers, they avoided going to grocery stores or restaurants. They took them a minute to even get up on the curbside delivery side of things. So they started using food delivery services like DoorDash or Grubhub or things that they may not have, or Uber Eats, things they may not have done before. And that might have changed them indefinitely. That could change the way that they do things. And as these new habits emerge, we really need to double down on our marketing efforts on those new potential customers, right? And because over time, those 66 days, those habits can change. And targeted advertising and is another piece of that, right? Those memories fade in how the brain works. And so you can't be silent. You need to, but you can't necessarily do it the same way that you were doing it before either, right? And I think that we're here to help you do that, but a lot of people can give you that kind of advice. But what we're trying to do as a company, iHEART Media, is to be that kind of one-stop shop for you to really work on this new potential customer bucket. Digging a little bit deeper into reach, urgency wins. We all know in almost every category, there's going to be pent-up demand. As consumers, we know that that's there. I have talked to many people today on video that have haircuts that didn't have, that had it growing pretty long a couple of weeks ago, for example. But I think getting in there and being at least the first to whisper is going to be important. So speed to market is a really critical thing to understand. And also kind of this commanding presence, right? Spread your feathers. Think about the Super Bowl for a minute. People, you put ads in the Super Bowl, and granted, that's a super expensive, no pun intended, super expensive way of doing it. But they do it there just to get the quick and commanding presence that the Super Bowl provides. So whether you're a well-known brand or maybe you even opened your business right before the pandemic, it doesn't matter. We need to explore reach in a variety of ways, and that is the critical piece. I think that was being discussed earlier, Michael was mentioning something about the funnel. You have to fill it, and reach is the way to fill it, right? There's only one way to get them to the bottom of the funnel, and that's to put them in the top. So it's important to be really highly visible. And then the last bucket I want to talk about is along with scale and reach and trust, is really having that right messaging. And right now it's more important than ever. Thinking back several months ago, I'm sure businesses like yours during the onset of the pandemic, you probably did a pretty good job at helping your clients kind of pivot your messaging, right? Like, what am I going to say? What do I need to say? A lot of studies happened in that time to say what to say and not to say. And now there are even more, now that we're kind of slowly progressing into this reopening phase and trying to be very nimble with the messaging. Most of us are most consumers are saying they're looking for hope, optimism. They're not sure who's officially reopening, so you want to be clear about that. They want to know what actually means from an operational standpoint. Like, you really need to find ways to communicate that message clearly, but with a tone that's very helpful. Burrell, who's a good partner of ours and a great research company, really narrowed it down and talked about why messaging matters. And they really delved into kind of the consumer sentiment, right? What do consumers want ads to say? And this is in order of importance, what they said, right? The first thing is, what service adjustments have you made? Are you protecting, what are you doing to help? Are you compliant with the way things are doing? Are you protecting your own employees? Are you empathetic? Is safety a big key? And then notice, last is offering a deal, right? These things are important in the messaging as you move forward. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to open for business, compliant with COVID, and we got a deal for you. Those are kind of the key things that you can probably, if you know, to Bill's point, if you're taking notes in terms of messaging, those are the three things that the consumers are telling us they want to see. So hopefully you can appreciate kind of those three buckets and where the trust, the reach, and the messaging, and kind of understand that that's not an iHeart thing. That's just a thing. That's just what we need to be thinking about as you reopen your business. Now, however, I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about how we at iHeart Media are positioned to help you do that. Coincidentally, it's because we excel at those three things. Not sure if you knew this, but if you are a listener of radio specifically, that is a companion medium. You know, iHeart Media actually, in a survey that was sent out to thousands and thousands of consumers a couple of years ago, said we were not only the #1 most trusted medium in terms of our information and our companionship and our camaraderie with our consumers, but it was like well and above #2, almost 2x ahead of the second place one. That trust being built into us gives you leverage when you go through us, right? It gives it that implied trust continues through. There's something about being on the radio or being connected to our radio brand, even on a digital space, that helps with that. Reach, biggest reach medium in America, and that doesn't even count the digital piece, right? So we're reaching 90+% of everybody on the web and 85% of everybody on the radio side. So there is no question as to whether or not we have enough for you to grow your business and to re-energize your consumer base. And then last but not least, on the messaging, we have a full creative services team. Digitally, we have 20, 25 plus designers. There's no limit to the number of creative services and people that we have on the radio side as well. So that really can help you, and at a very low cost, by the way, which I think is important. In fact, the low cost is free, right? Like if you do campaigns with us, creative kind of comes with it. And I think that's really important in a time where you probably have to adjust your messaging more frequently than you might normally. Because you have to make these kind of adjustments with the times that we're in right now. So let's get a little more tactical, if you will. And I know this is a lot about digital, but I would be remiss if I didn't just go ahead and remind you about the reach factor. 850 plus broadcast stations, all of our thousands of radio personalities, broadcast radio is in our DNA. But as you can see here, some of our most loyal listeners don't distinguish between the radio in their car and the smart speaker and the smart TV and their phone. You know, to them, those are just a variety of devices to be able to listen to their favorite radio stations and talent. But it does provide you with some added targeting capabilities. So if your business maybe is a little too precise, I shouldn't say too precise, but geographically, maybe you can't benefit as much as somebody with multiple locations or things like that. So you're a dentist and you're in a certain area. That's where audios can still play a role for you because of iHeartRadio, which is our streaming, our digital audio piece to play our radio stations and our podcast, which we'll talk about. We have over 140 million registered users. We have 80 million active users at any given day. So it's definitely a place where if you want to get into the audio space, but maybe broadcast radio isn't for you, streaming radio can be. We can target down to where people are. We can target certain types of audiences. And so that can definitely be a good play for you. We are across 250 plus platforms, everything from Southwest Airlines to your mobile phone to your, I won't say her name, the Echo thing, because she's right here. Those smart speakers, all of that is in play for you as an advertiser. And so you get to be in audio, but don't necessarily have to do it only at a broadcast level. Same goes on the podcasting piece, everyone. There is no hotter conversation piece right now than podcasting. And it was already exploding. And all that COVID has done for podcasting right now is really just fast-tracked it to be even bigger. You may not realize it, but we are the largest podcaster in America. But we are both a platform. So the iHeartRadio platform carries our podcast, but our content is where we start. As a radio company, we are a content company first. and an advertising company second, right? So our content, and this is unique about us in the podcast space, because you might be hearing, there's Pandora has podcasts, Spotify, Apple, and that is true. Our podcasts and your advertising that's in those podcasts actually is platform agnostic. If you run an ad on our podcast network, it's going to run on Pandora, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any of the smaller ones, of course, iHeartRadio. So this is a really great environment to be an advertiser in, and it can also be geo-targeted to where your business is. So you've got streaming audio, you've got podcasting, and television. Probably didn't know this about us, but we have a very robust suite of what we call OTT, or over the top. It's not what we call it, it's what it is called. This is where the cord cutters are. So I'm sure there's some of you on this call that have lessened your reliance on cable or satellite, and you've cut the cord. At very least, you have, a Netflix. Many of you probably, added Hulu or Sling, but you're definitely using apps like Disney Plus and HBO Max and Pluto TV to consume your video content now. We have that. So imagine, and by the way, non-skippable, meaning you only pay for it if somebody sees it, right? It's impression-based, not spot-based like cable. So here's and geo-targeted. So imagine running a TV campaign in the 5 zip codes around your location, right? These are things that are possible now and targeted to the type of audience that you want. It's how addressable TV has become, and we can help you with that in the iHeart OTT space. Social media, big, right? It is kind of a space that can be very overwhelming for a local business to get in, but we are specialists at it, and we have a variety of ways to engage in this space, ranging from connecting you to our on-air talent and going through that social, through station and on-air, to paid social, where we're just running your campaign for you. We have the ability to run not just in Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, but the TikToks and the Snapchats and things like that. We are experts in all of these places, and we're here to help you with that. Up next, and this is a little more traditional, targeted display and video pre-roll, not just across iHeartRadio network sites, but any site. We have a programmatic environment that allows us to do everything for you and optimize campaigns where we are targeting thousands and thousands of categories of audiences we can target, from demos to auto intenders to people in these zip codes that have been to Walmart. Like, there's a variety of ways that we can do things. And so that is very traditional targeted display and pre-roll, but it's done very well. I should mention too, because it's not in this presentation, all of this stuff is completely transparent. All of our digital campaigns have a dashboard that you can log into and see how every impression is being served and what it's delivering for you. So it is very much on the digital side of one-stop shop. Something that is a little more unique is, imagine that display and pre-roll that I talked about, but the targeting is not based on your web browsing habits. It's based on your physical location habits. So if you want to target somebody that's within 5 miles of your business, or recently was within 5 miles of your business, we can do that on their mobile devices. Not only that, we can blueprint your locations and tell you if people who saw those ads actually came to your store. This is a whole, a lot of these I'm obviously top lining and trying to keep them very just short descriptions, but these are the kinds of assets that we could bring to bear depending on your situation and what you're trying to do. We kind of have everything. So instead of, this environment is kind of me just summarizing some of the assets we have. But the reality is that when we have a conversation with you, what we're going to do is not show you the laundry list of things, but talk to you about your business and what your key objectives are. Are you trying to drive store traffic? Do you need help with branding? Do you need to drive people to your website? Is the information across the internet for your business not as accurate as you'd like it? There's a variety of services here that we can provide, but so much so that the focus is on you instead of on us. Last but not least, email marketing. So again, that's something we provide. It sounds very traditional, but man, right now, email use and engagement is up 1,000% since COVID. So many people are reading their emails now and really engaging and joining lists and opting in and out and doing those things. And I think that that's really important, to not overlook something that feels very traditional in the digital space, but is really something that can be extremely cost efficient. So with that, and I think we're coming up on time here, so good, perfect timing. This is kind of like us in a nutshell, right? We are truly kind of we are a one-stop shop for you, whether it's broadcast radio, TV, streaming audio, tactical digital, email, events. We even do SEO and SEM and something called digital knowledge management, which manages your business's information across hundreds of things like Yelp and Google and a variety of things. So we want to be there for you. We are built, we're a national company, but we operate locally, just like you. We want to be on the ground with you. And I think that that's super important to have a partner like that in a time like this, especially. So hopefully that gives you a good, not only a peek into what we do at iHeart, but a kind of some key takeaways in terms of your strategy in this grand reopening kind of phase, which again, it's going to vary market by market as to what that is and where you are in that phase. But we are here to help guide you through that. We're in it too. So I do thank you for the time, and please be safe. Don't hesitate to reach out to your iHeart Media representative or use the text there, and we'll get back to you. So, Bill, hopefully that was great.
Great content, over-the-top information. We've got a number of folks that had asked how to get some information, which is incredible. But I also want to, we got a couple minutes, it's okay, if you don't mind.
No, not at all.
It'd be great to just share, what are some tips you would give people today to stay out of the rut, to really stay focused on, even though it's been a rough, let's say 3 months for a lot of businesses, right? What are some things you've done to have consistent habits to create even more success?
Yeah, I think for us, it's been about being empathetic and communicating with our businesses, right? Our business partners have come to us more in the past 3 months asking advice than ever before. I think prior, it was very much, tell me about this product that you have, or how does that work? And now we find ourselves in a place really where I think we wish we had been, which is a conversation about your business. As opposed to, like I said, we kind of did a quick laundry list of the things that we can do tactically for you and the whole one-stop shop thing. But really, it's about sitting down and having a full business conversation. And that's been the great thing that I've seen. And while I wish circumstances were different and nobody had to close and all those things, it has created a new normal for us as well, where we feel even more partner than advertiser or media,
Yeah, I can say that we went from doing 40 live events a month on March 15th. And by March 26th, we launched our first digital event. Now, what changed in all that is that in 11 days, we launched the idea of Success Summit 360. We put together the graphics, the team, the marketing, found some new broadcasting tools. And the crazy part, brought in like Mark Victor Hansen and Brian Tracy and John Gray and John Astroff and different leaders, Sharon Lecter, all within record periods of time. And I think, to me, I believe this might be one of the greatest times to double down on your advertising. Not pull away from it, but just what I would call a transfer spend. Because I also think that right now, you can probably get a lot more for your money, correct?
Yeah, I think that that's absolutely true. I think there is some pent up demand, so it won't stay that way forever. But what's been great is I think this has invited people to know, it's almost forced people. I think invited maybe is too soft of a word. It's forced businesses and advertisers to absolutely think differently. I'll give you a small example. We have all of our broadcast radio advertisers, which is the bulk of what we do, right? I would say, maybe half of them were also adding digital audio to that, meaning the streaming side, which is weird because you would think that everybody would do that because this is a kind of a thing that we say is that when's the last time you bought a radio? Like an actual AM FM radio.
Yeah,
and in almost every case, it's the last time you bought a car. So it's a really expensive radio. So what's happening is if you're not including digital audio in that mix, you're missing we're on over 200 something platforms. If you only do broadcast, you're missing the other 199. right? Because the broadcast is the one. And so so what we've seen now is when people started being at home, they didn't stop listening. They just listened differently. The smart speaker exploded in terms of something like, I'm still listening, but I'm not using my car radio now during my commute. I'm telling Alexa to do it. Oh, see,
yeah, that's true.
So I think for us, it's been those conversations around I think this just came up in a conversation that we had the other day. You definitely need to be nimble. You definitely need to think differently, but you cannot be silent. This is the worst time to do that.
Have you also found that those social contests and social programs you have that you guys do some offering on, have you found that to be successful as well?
Yeah, even that phase, even that has changed, right? I mean, we used to do things like, we'll give you this social contesting and share your stuff on social and then go to the business. Well, I can't do that anymore. We've started very much like you. We've started hosting, we've helped clients host their home shows in this contest and kind of social environment where it was kind of an expo booth related thing. So it's been a really, really interesting, but I think the key for us has been we have had deeper conversations with clients than ever before.
That's pretty crazy stuff. Listen, I also got a very special guest I want to bring on for a second here. I want to introduce you guys to each other. Darryl, say hello to Shelly Pritchett. Shelly, you're on mute for some reason. You might want to unmute yourself. But Shelly is actually the co-creator of the most amazing game ever called House Guests from Hell. And they sell this game all over the world on Amazon. But her and her family created a game that makes it really fun to sit down, laugh, learn about sales, learn about communication. And by the time you finish, you've laughed so hard that you're crying because you have to get rid of these dilemmas that you run into as you try to get back to your house and get rid of all your house guests. So, I think, we have to talk about maybe with how we can utilize iHEART Media to get her game all over the world. They've launched it just less than a few months ago, but now it's available. It's like they have the special online for like $29. I'd love to send you a copy of the game if that would be okay.
I am all in. I have 4 adult children who won't leave me alone. So wait, do they count as house guests if they don't live here anymore?
No, the idea is to get rid of the ones you don't want to have there.
Oh, okay, good point. I want them here. That's a good point.
But it's super fun. So Shelly, say hello to Darryl. Darryl, say hello to Shelly.
Hi,
Nice
Darryl.
to meet you. Hello.
I enjoyed your talk.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, she was in the back room. Listen, we'll let you go. Darryl, I appreciate your time today. And thanks for all you guys do in making marketing easier for all of us entrepreneurs and business owners.
Yeah, we're in it together for sure. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks again. Great job. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Shelly, how are you?
I'm fine.
Thanks for plugging in. That was a great session. If you didn't learn a lot from that one, I don't know, something's wrong, but I thought you did a great job. So I want you to just share with everyone, and I know some people have heard of the game, some people have not. Maybe just share with them, what is House Guests from Hell, and how does this game work?
House Guests from Hell is a game, I've been thinking about different, because each time we talk, we kind of talk about different aspects of the game. And I was thinking about the collaboration or the collaborative effort that me and my kids put forth to actually create the game, and how that same process happens with people when you're actually playing it. People start to kind of work together. And we were making this game when, we had a pretty terrible crisis. We were in the middle of, we took care of this family, and they were 2 twin boys, and they were dying. So we actually had hospice, and we were doing a lot of the caregiving ourselves. And so it was pretty sad. And because both of the twins were dying at the same time, they were identical, and they were both dying. And so it was kind of, it was pretty awful. So they didn't go away to hospice. Hospice came, so they were in the house with us. So we were sad. And so we made this game to help us kind of cope with some of the losses. And it ended up being just so funny. We did, it's not really, we weren't trying to comfort ourselves. We were just, putting all of the funny things that have happened to us in this game. And it just ended up being funny. But my daughter, my son and my daughter, I have 3 kids, and 2 of them were down in Houston living, and they weren't with me at the time that me and my other daughter, the graphic designer, when we were making this. And we finally says, you have to come home. We're almost done with the game, but we're dead. We're stuck. You have to come home and help us polish it so that we can market this game, because it ends up being, it's funny. It really works. We didn't think we could do something like this. We'd never done it before, but it's just real life experiences that people have. And so we just made it, and we needed their help. But what's interesting is when you play the game, you can get stuck because you have a guest. And I've got right here, I've got cousin Jojo. I don't know if you can see that. That is our naughty cousin Jojo, who is an anti-government mooner. He, takes his activism out and he moons people with, he's not liking what the government's doing. So that's your guest, and you're trying to get rid of your guest. And along the way, you get every turn, you get a new dilemma. So you're trying to get rid of cousin Jojo, and you get a dilemma, and it might say, your guest didn't tell you that they wet the bed at night. See, here's the card. You can't see it because of the glare. They didn't tell you that they wet the bed at night. So so that's cousin Jojo who's peeing the bed, which you don't really want. And so you get solution cards and dilemma cards. And so you have to figure out, okay, what am I going to do? And then you present to the rest of the players. You might get a tarp, and you can say, oh, well, that's easy. There we go. We're going to explain to the rest of the players, I've got a tarp and cousin Jojo's wetting the bed. I'm going to put the tarp underneath there, and then they vote. Yes or no? Does that solve the problem? Well, yeah, that's a good. And so it's the other players who have to weigh in and say whether that solves it or not. But in the meantime, there's collaboration with all the other players, because they say, no, that doesn't work very good. Why don't you put, you've got a roll of paper towels laying right there. We think you should do that instead. And so without even knowing it, your group of players, it could be your family members, it could be people at work, it could be, just a community like the bingo people or the people at the hairdresser shop or wherever you are, whoever you're playing with is, you can be playing with complete strangers. They begin to collaborate, and everybody starts laughing. So that's kind of how the collaboration works, how we had to collaborate to actually bring the product to market, and how people actually have to collaborate to solve the game. And then one player wins by eventually solving all of their problems. Bill?
I'm right here. I'm just listening. I like all these things. I was just sharing. I put the text up there. I don't know if you've seen that. So if you guys want to get a copy of the game today, all you got to do is go to House Guests from Hell, buy a copy. You're never going to see these prices again. I think they're going to end probably the end of this month or next month. Really, like almost half off what you buy the same game on Amazon for. So it's a really, really special value. But I think it's always fun too, is that, what are some of the biggest takeaways that people have when they play the game? I mean, we've seen it at our events. We've seen people laughing, but also learning, So if you could share a few of the takeaways that people get, how long does the game play? Who's the game perfect for? That would be most awesome.
The game can take, it's not a quick play. It's an hour and a half to a couple hours. One of the first times we had it played, we took it to one of those board game places, and they played for 3 hours, and they just nerd fested on it. But some of the takeaways is that you find out about your fellow players. You find out kind of how they solve things, how their brain works a little bit. And you find out stories, you find out humorous things about them. And I think this game makes people connect. It does. And you laugh and you connect, and people share stories. And so building bridges, breaking down barriers, building bridges, coming together. It does all of those things. And it without even trying. You don't even know. It's not like this is a psychological game and we're going to play this and we're going to get better at team building. No, although you could use it that way. But that, if you approach it like that, that sounds very mundane. It sounds very boring. It sounds like, that's not something we want to do to have fun. You can actually have fun. Now, this is kind of, there's potty humor in it. And we put on the box that it's 14 and up, because we didn't want to do, if it's for kids under 14, they have to do the safety. You have to have a special safety testing. And so we thought, okay, kids under 14 aren't going to play this. So we just put 14 and up. But then we had it test played by a bunch of kids who were like 10 and 8, and they got it better than the adults. So you don't have to actually have house guests. This could be a bully in your life. This could be another student or a bad teacher, or the janitor who's mean, and you want to get rid of that guy. And it's not really violent. You can't kill your guest or anything like that, but it's just being able to kind of fantasize about getting rid of those people that are annoyances in your life. So the takeaway is, it's just fun. It's plain old fun. And it's sort of an escape from our troubles and some of the problems. But you can also learn things from this. You can learn, oh, wow, I didn't know I could, I have one thing, like, here's a dilemma. This is one of my favorite ones, really. Your guest found the hidden potato cannon and shot a hole in your roof. Now you have water pouring in your living room from the rain. But see, you've got to figure out, the potato cannon, I've never shot one of those things. Well, there it is in this game. You've got a potato cannon, and now you can fantasize how you're going to fix it, because there's a problem, and then we have here's a trash bag. Well, that might work for a little bit. Some of your group might say, okay, that works. The other one say, no, that's going to fill up. That won't work. So you just have to be creative. You learn to be creative with this game, and learn to be happy and be positive, because you can fix it.
So when you do finish the game, right, this is always fun, right? Is that, how is the feeling for the winner? Because I've already seen it, but I'd love for you to share how it feels for the winner that gets rid of all their house guests, and they've literally been able to win the game. How is that feeling?
Well, we heard when we were at one of your events in the Bahamas, and our good friend Erica started, I kicked your ass and I won, because her husband is always winning, and so she won in this game, and so she just was elated. People get really excited when they win, because it takes a while, and it's you have to be determined. You have to continue to be innovative, and you have to be quick on your feet. And then actually what happens is you have to learn to sell your solution, and you find out really quick, the first round or two, that if you just are not very descriptive, and you're not very, you don't use very good language to sell your idea, the rest of the players are going to deny you, and you will not get any of your dilemmas solved. And remember, each turn you're moving around the board, and you're in trouble because you haven't solved them, and you can't go out until you solve all those problems.
So what you're saying, this could be a good game for all of our politicians to play.
Yes, that's exactly what they need.
And the question I had, I get this a lot. Can people play the game with teams?
Yes.
And actually, how does it work when you want to have it? Let's say you got 12 or 10 people there and you want to form teams. How does the team play work?
The team play, surprisingly, we had no idea. We didn't know how to market this game. So we were trying to go to game board, conventions and that kind of stuff. So we ended up going to Bill's, one of his events. And we thought, well, we'll see if we can use this in a business. And we didn't think we could use it in business. But then we played it in teams. And Bill was insisting, oh, yeah, I think you can play this in teams. And we thought, well, I don't know. We haven't done it, so let's try it. Well, the people that play it in teams actually ended up having more fun than the people who had just one pawn and were playing individually. Because the team aspect, the two people are coming together and trying to solve it, and they're figuring out what their all their options. And so you have to be really, it's humorous watching people, listening to people solve their problems. And now you have to get along with that person, and you come up together, and boy, it is lightning quick. You get along and you start laughing and you start coming up with things, and then you start strategizing. Okay, let's use that. And then remember, there's an aspect of this game that if you land in a certain spot, because it's a dice and you move around the board, if you land in a certain spot, you get to steal anybody's cards. And so if you have a hard card, a hard dilemma that you're trying to solve and it's difficult, you see somebody else who has what you want. You can, if you land on the gold spiral, you can steal their card and solve your problem or solve your dilemma, and then you get rid of that dilemma. And so remember, you're moving around the board and trying to get rid of your dilemmas, because you're getting in a dilemma every single turn, and solution cards.
Like you said, when we played the game in the Bahamas, I seen so many entrepreneurs that it turned to the little rivalries going on, right? And that my idea is good to solve this dilemma. And no, it's not. And yes, it is. But I think what happened is that people really came together and they had to communicate, because you've got to convince the rest of the board that are all there that your solution card will solve the dilemma. And then I think also once they start to play the game, this is called, for me, it's great negotiation skills. Can I use this one card to get rid of this one really bad dilemma that I'm dealing with, or not? You know what I mean? And if the whole table just says no, then you're out.
How persuasive can you be? You've got to be persuasive.
Yeah, and you got to be persuasive as a team, not just one-on-one. Right. And that's why most businesses today need help with negotiation, need help with sales, and probably could use some more laughter. I think a little bit of laughter these days goes a long way. As you know, we're opening our new office in Schaumburg and Beverly Hills. We should maybe have some game nights over at the new facilities. I just think that people would love some of that stuff. So are there any other last minute comments you want to share about the game, things people need to know so that they should buy? And listen, everyone should buy one today. I have a copy in my home. I've sent a lot of copies out to a lot of friends of mine. Every one of them come back laughing. So if you've got any last minute comments you want to share, I'm going to put the little image on the screen of where they can get the game at. They can go right to your website. But any other last comments you want to share on why everybody here today should buy at least 1 to 5 copies of this game?
Well, it's the thing that nobody else has. This is a unique game. And people say, oh, well, it's a little bit like this, Cards Against Humanity. Well, no, it's not. It's not like that at all, because this is actually positive. It's not based on negative things. It's actually based on positive. And it helps the creative juices flow in your brain. Instead of being stuck and stationary, you get active, get your mind active, and think outside the box. Think of other ways that you can solve problems. And there's also a thing where you connect with people. Sometimes people are we're stiff, we're locked into our certain behavioral patterns, and this can actually help you unstick, get out of the concrete shoes that you're wearing, and do something that's different, and do something that's fun and positive.
I just find that it's so refreshing that people can actually turn off the TV, they can turn off their cell phone, they can just sit down with friends or people that live in your house. Maybe some people you want to get out of your house. I don't know. It could be a good game for him. This is a great thing for Airbnb. Every person that rents an Airbnb should buy these games and leave it right on the dining room table. Play the game. Challenge yourself, and only to give them a wake up call that that once again they're in someone else's home. They should take care of it. And if not, they won't be invited back. And here's all the dilemmas that could happen. So it makes it kind of fun. All right, listen, we're going to let you run. Thanks so much for being a part of today. We'll get a game out to the guys from iHEART Media. I'm sure they're going to love it. And keep up the great work. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. You heard it here first. Always a treat to have on Shelly and her family. Some of the most amazing kids, incredible family, building a great business, and committed to bringing more laughter to America. So if you'd like to bring more laughter to America, which you know we all need right now, I highly recommend you buy the game and you get the game for some of your friends. Order 4 or 5, and get them shipped to your house today, or just put in separate shipping, put them different places. But I promise you, anyone you send that game to, they're going to thank you for a long time to come. So with that, I wanted to bring back on our host today. I've asked him to talk about the power of masterminds for a little bit, about 15, 20 minutes, about the power of how to use masterminds to grow your business. I think this is such an essential topic right now that if you're not building through masterminds, and I'm talking about virtual or live, you're missing one of the greatest ways to grow a business. If you pick up a copy of the book called Think and Grow Rich, you'll see that Napoleon Hill talked all about the power of masterminds. You'll understand why masterminds can completely change the game for launching, growing, or building any size business. So with that, I'll bring Mr. Michael Silvers back on. Michael, thanks for the great job. I'll bring you in and kind of share some of your wisdom. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. So everybody, welcome back. You're all buying the game right now. We've actually played the game at our events, and oh my gosh, House Guests from Hell. It's great because it's created a networking across groups, and I think that's really important. So we are now talking business. So get your business hats on. This is a critical piece. I'll be doing this for 15 to 20 minutes, and then we have one of the best networkers on the planet coming on. We're going to then move into one of the greatest really VIP panels you've ever heard. And then we're going to have an amazing afternoon with our CEO and take your business to the next level. So let's take a look at it very simply this way. And here's my famous chart. I want everybody to draw one of these. If you're new to the stream, draw one of these. That's it. Very simply, draw one of these. Okay. And what I want you to do is, this is, again, remember, we talked with iHEART Media and they sponsor, we work with them. So who's coming into your funnel? This is your business. I don't care if you're a brick and mortar, you're online, you're virtual. I can tell you that if you're a coach, a podcaster, somebody there's a million businesses you could be in, you use this same design. On this design, this is, again, the levels of your customer coming through. This over here is the path. Right? That's not the end down here. All that is a path that the customer follows and the customer acquisition piece. And at the same time, how they come in here. Now, what we're going to talk about right now is a piece that fits somewhere down here. It depends. You can use a mastermind at the beginning of your funnel as a way for people to build a relationship with you. You can use a mastermind further down. So what is a mastermind? Write this down. A mastermind is a group of individuals that get together. By the way, I'm going to cough. When you cough, mic yourself. There we go. The mute button is amazing. Make sure that you know a mastermind is a group of individuals that come together to create something out of nothing. Write that down. Something out of nothing. Now, the critical piece about that is you're building your business is, how do I make more money? Right? Because you can have a mastermind that you charge anywhere from $2,500 a year for to $25,000. There's masterminds out there that are a couple $100,000 a year. Yes, you can have that too. But you have to think of why you're developing your mastermind and what's its purpose. And that's a critical piece. Is you also, when you're developing your mastermind, you want it to be within your business system. So it doesn't matter what system you're in. It's great for virtual. It's great for online. YouTubers have them now. Podcasters have them. I know attorneys that have them, dentists that have them, healthcare workers that have them, and that's really critical. So if that's something that you see that can be built into your business, the great piece about it is, how does that relate to everything that you're going to do? How does that relate to the power that you're bringing to your own business? So first of all, if you've ever had a mastermind in your business or been part of one, just in the feed section, put a 1. Now, a lot of you are, what they do is they listen to watch parties, and I know you won't show up. That's okay. So put it in the feed that you're in. But just type a 1 if you have a mastermind or anything like that in your business. So the great part about that is the virtual income that you can get from it. But think of it this way, it also solves a problem, because part of what we had at Power Team is we have leads every month, right? We can have anywhere from 5 to 10,000 leads come through. What do you do with those? So part of having a mastermind for us is to have a group of individuals that come together, and we're going to have twice a month virtual masterminds. And on the virtual mastermind, it's going to be a way for people to see what we do to work on their business, and actually in 2 hours to get business advice, whether they join us or not. So we're providing content. Write the word down, content. It's critical. So as you write the word content down, how does that fit in your business systems? So if you take a look at your, by the way, this is the $1 million design. So if you take a look at your business system, are they coming first into your podcast coaching? What is it that they get first? The person who enters, is at the door greeting them. What is the next level? What service are you providing? And how do you create a community? So the great thing about a mastermind is it creates a community. Write that down. When you create a community, you have raving fans that will stay with you and come back. I've been going to the same dentist for I can't tell you how many years, because I met him at a networking event. BNI, great, phenomenal. Business Networking International. You're going to hear from that soon. And I've gone to him ever since because we created a community. I walked in there and we used to sit together as a team and mastermind our businesses. And because of that, that's a dentist I will never leave, because not only is he one of the greatest dentists on the planet, I think, but at the same time, we also have shared something else beyond that. So what you're doing in a mastermind is you're sharing with your customers. Well, I don't want to talk to them, Michael. Fine, move them into another mastermind. Give them something that they can do to promote their own businesses. So again, if you take a look at our paradigm, we solved a problem. We have all these leads coming in, and we move them through our system. We move them through information. They find out about our 2.5-day boot camp, Rainmaker. But then we give them a way to work on their business immediately within the mastermind before they even know who we are. And then we have a high-level mastermind that they have to join, right? They have to invest to become part of it. That's something they want to do. Or they can stay part of our virtual mastermind for a very small investment for the whole year. And they're part of a group, of an international group, of sort of a group that is a think tank and growing beyond what, its wildest dreams. But you can build that into your business. Because if you have a group of individuals that get together on a once-a-month basis to help each other network and work their business, this is not just networking, to work their businesses, they will never forget who you are. We have all across the board people who built their mastermind. So the first thing in a mastermind is you want to make sure that you have your, number one, your facilitator. Write that down. It's critical to have somebody that facilitates the group, that understands how to facilitate the group, but has a background in either business or facilitation, or knows what masterminds are. Make sure they read Think and Grow Rich. If they didn't, forget it. You will probably be the facilitator in the beginning. Number two, you want to make sure that you have the person that keeps the time in the mastermind. It's critical. So when I run the virtual masterminds, we do Zoom, and very simply, we put people, into breakouts, and breakouts are really critical. Breakouts make a huge difference. Breakouts are what changes everything that we do. Does that make sense? Okay, good. I'm just telling you the thing. Okay, so breakouts make a huge difference in everything that you're doing. So as we are really, accomplishing these breakouts, it makes a difference as you, as a group, work together. So you have the facilitator, you have that timekeeper. Now, to fit it in your business, what you're doing is you're telling people you're honoring their time. And it makes a difference as you honor their time. It makes a difference as you make that change. It makes a difference to keep them powerfully moving in a certain direction. Because as we move in that direction, we want to make sure that we're holding them to an accountable position. Does that make sense to everybody? You want to hold them to accountable position. So as you put them in the mastermind, you want to work with a team or a group that's larger than you are. And part of what we've done with everything I've talked about is we've created 2 programs. And really, it's our small business advisor program. So you can text to directly work with me and Power Team and have me on a 15-minute call with you to not only blow your business open, but to figure out where you would fit for us and where we fit for you. Just text SBA to 26786. Text SBA to 26786. Because we have, at the moment, 35 live masterminds, which will be beginning again, and we have 2 a month virtual masterminds, which you can bring your people to. And what happens is, I'm going to turn my ring light off. I see I'm bouncing around and you're seeing it. There we go. And you can tell, can you see the difference? Actually, I like it with it on, so I'll keep lower. You can tell as you're building your mastermind that we're going to be there for you. So how would you like to partner with a group that has 300 events a year? Got that? And has a whole virtual suite? Makes a huge difference as we're growing together. And we're growing together really because we're driving this thing together. So on this platform, what we use is StreamYard. When we do our masterminds, we use Zoom. Just to let everybody know, that's how we do it. And we make sure that you're partnering with us. So remember, partner with those that are bigger than yourselves. Make a difference with those that are bigger with yourself, and partner side by side. So how would you like to be with a group that has 300 events a year and a whole virtual suite of 10 to 14 hours a week? You say, yes, me. How would you like to learn to create a mastermind with you in your own business where you can help others create a better business for themselves, but have raving fans that will buy your products and stay with you more? Say, that's me. Does that make sense? How would you like to work with a group, right? You work side by side. And even if you just become a member of our mastermind, even if you're just a member, I'm going to teach every time I'm on the mastermind. I'm going to teach 20 years of experience of being on the big stages, 20 years of working in masterminds. I've been spoke all over the world. I've had coaching divisions in 12 countries. I've worked with most of the major players. I put most of the major players on stages. Bill Walsh was somebody I met because we kept putting him on our stages, and thousands of people went through Rainmaker and came back and said, thank you so much. Because we then would mastermind what we need to do next as a group. And we built a mastermind. So at Rainmaker, we have that mastermind, but we solved the problem, because if we have thousands of leads coming in every month, what do we do with them, right? And so we can put them in a virtual mastermind. So we use it as a front end and a back end. We can do it so people can come in, see what we do, be part of a mastermind, have their business really laid out for them, solve problems right away. Write that down. You're always solving problems. And then at the same time as you're solving problems, you can absolutely make a difference in their life. When you do that, they become part of your community. So we're always solving problems at Power Team. We're always solving problems, right? Helping with the solutions. And then we have the raving fans that continue on. You can do that within your own business. But why not at the same time learn from the best on the best of the planet who we surround ourselves with, and join a team? Because the other thing that you can do is not only as you bring members in, but how would you like to be paid for the members that come in? Does that make sense? So there's now an income potential. And it's very simple, and I'll lay it out for you on the phone call very simply. So just text SBA to 26786. And what we also did, so now you know how to build it into your business, and I can teach you how to do that too. You also know the why of why you want it in your business. You understand why people come together and how that makes a difference in a group. You also see why you want to partner with a company like Power Team, because we can help you move forward, not only in your business, partner with your business. I'll see what you need. Maybe you're going to be on stage, right? Whatever that is for you, but how a mastermind can then become part of everything that you do to make you more brilliant at what you do and create brilliance of people around you. And then very simply, you want to join a group that does that, Because for you that are coaches out there, currently coaches and business coaches and high level, and getting clients is always an issue. And we understand that. That's part of the funnel. How would you like to be part of a team that coaches the people on these calls? How would you like to be part of a team that to be able to coach? So I'll tell you about the SBA program when you text SBA to 26786, because not only will you develop this mastermind, this group of think tank, but you'll also be part of our high level think tank. At the same time, we'll make sure that you also work with us directly and know how to coach, teach, and train, so we actually create the best in you to be the best for us. And that's where it's a mutual. How would you like for all these clients that are coming on these calls and saying, hey, I need a coach, to be part of the group that takes care of them? Does that make sense? Because we're not going to just put you out there. We're going to make sure that you're the best business coach on the planet and that you can coach in one of the best systems in the planet. So not only can you create a mastermind, not only will you can have income by bringing people to the mastermind, but you can also have a business to expand what you're already doing. And I always hear this all the time. Well, I'm just not sure, if I'm a coach. Let me make that designation. That's not for you. I've trained thousands of coaches, right? With tens of thousands of clients. So let me do my brilliance, see where you fit in the system. And if nothing else, I will direct you in a way to go. Maybe you need Rainmaker right now. Maybe that's what your business needs right now, and I'll move you in that direction. Maybe you absolutely are one of the best freaking speakers I've ever heard with an amazing product. And I know you need to be on our stages, and Platinum Speaker Camp is exactly where you need to land. But let us do what we do brilliantly as you build a business. Ask the questions. If you don't ask today, you're not going anywhere. If you don't make a difference, you're not going to have people around you who are going to follow you. Ask the questions, get part of the team, be part of the team. And we're very excited to have you develop, build, and do it better than ever. So very simply, text SBA to 26786. I see some coming in right away. Text SBA to 26786. I'm going to throw a banner up. Why not, right? Make your life easy. There you go. Text SBA to 26786. Now, let me say one thing. It's going to be me who actually texts you back, okay? This is personal. Got that? So, and you're going to set up a calendar invite. I've got appointments tonight, tomorrow, the next day. And we're going to talk right away. Be ready to go. I'm looking for people who are serious, who want to do this, who are hungry, and know they can make a difference in the world with an organization the size of ours, but with the heart of ours. So make sure that your organization and, you align yourselves with organizations that have the heart, and that you have the heart, and that you're ready to go. I take no excuses. And we move forward every day. We're building out days of summits. Think of it this way. Every Monday we have Success by Design and really the Vision to Wealth, where we have panelists and we really go through a paradigm of how to build your business. Tuesdays we have internet marketing. Wednesdays we have how to speak to sell, how to speak by design, how to become the best speaker on the planet. Thursdays we have the summits. Sundays we have Live with Bill Walsh. We also have networking at noon. So we have a whole suite that you become part of right away, and that will make a huge difference as you're building. So join us. But is it right for everybody? No. But don't make that determination. A lot of people take themselves out of the game right away. They say, nope, I'm out of the game. I can't get it. Why don't you let me determine that for you? At the same time, don't take yourself out of the game. I'll just send you in a different direction. I'll send you in a direction where you win. Because you win, we win, it's a win-win. And maybe there's something that you just didn't tweak in your business. Maybe it is a mastermind. Maybe it's a mentoring position, right? Maybe it's to coach. I don't want to coach. Fantastic. Coach 20 to 1. There's so many ways to do this, but until you know how to do this, it will make a difference for how you're going to build. Save millions of dollars. Got that? Making all the mistakes and let the mentors. Write this down. Remember how I said to get to really success? 3 coaches, 2 mentors, and a mastermind. Very simply, 1 coach to kick your butt, 1 coach who understands your business, 1 coach for your health and wellness. Everybody got that? 2 mentors, somebody who maybe understands your business and is where you'd like to be, somebody who maybe has a lifestyle that you would like. A lot of people used to say, I want Richard Branson as my mentor because of his lifestyle. I want Bill Walsh. I know the way he travels and where he goes and what he does and how he plays, right? Work harder and play harder. And a mastermind, that's a group of individuals that get together and will work on your business and will drive it forward. And it really makes a difference. This has been an amazing day today. So very simply, what I want you to do is text SBA to 26786. Text SBA to 26786. I will be there for you. Oh, some more emails came in. Fantastic. Thank you, guys. I'm going to text you immediately. Once I put Bill back on, I'm going to text you immediately, get you ready to go. And I want you to text that SBA to 26786. It will make a huge difference. It will change everything that you're doing and change your life. And it's great what we do. So we've had an amazing day so far of speakers. We had iHEART Media on with us. We had a great panel. We have an amazing panel coming up tonight that you're going to learn so many different skills and techniques. And it's isn't it a great day, Bill?
It's an awesome day. I tell you
You're
what,
on mute.
I took a lot of notes from the iHeart Media team. They're obviously the best in the world at what they do. Number one trusted platform in the world for their work. And the numbers are just staggering. Over 2 billion viewers over the time. I mean, just incredible stuff that we can get plugged into. So I think it's perfect. But I tell you what, our next guest, if anybody here wants to become a better connector, this is someone you've got to learn from. She is not only talented, she is super talented, and she owns the space that she's in. I've known her now for a number of years now, and I will tell you this, I've watched her speak in front of small groups and large groups, and she really owns the content. She cares about what she does. And once again, just think today, have you ever gone to a networking event and maybe you didn't feel 100% confident? Maybe you weren't sure how to make those incredible connections. Well, let me tell you, this next speaker, she runs multiple BNI events. If you don't know BNI, Business Network International, with a guy that started by a guy named Ivan Meisner, just an amazing group all over the world. Very successful in the mortgage business. But I'll tell you what, she's got a heart of gold and a heart of service. And if you can get a chance to work with her, because she takes like 20 students, that's it, from something like this. And she works with them over an 8-week period to make sure they understand how to become the ultimate connector, how to network like a rock star, how to own the room. And it's less than $1,000 for the whole 8 weeks and a bunch of other goodies she has for you. But I will tell you this, that if you know for a fact that you'd like to become a great connector, I want you to put the number 1 down in the box. Put the number 1 in your comment box. You might think you're the ultimate connector, but I mean really become an absolute rock star when it comes to networking. If that's something that resonates, you just put a number 1 down there so we can see some of those ones pop up. But I want to bring to the channel, to the stream. Let me see if I can add Jackie Frank to the line. Jackie, how are you?
Oh, I'm great, Bill. So good to see you.
Yeah, so good to see you. Thanks for jumping. I know it's kind of last minute, but
yep.
It was great to be able to get you on the same event with our good friend from iHeart Media. Darryl did a great job, and I'm sure you will too. But if it's okay with you, would you mind just taking a few minutes and just share a bit of your story, and also talk to us about what it looks like, what it takes to really become a great networker? Not a not worker, but a networker.
A networker. And it is work, right? That, Ivan Meisner, a good friend of yours and mine now for over 20 years, who founded BNI 35 years ago, he always says, the dirty word in networker is work. There is actually work involved in this. So, as you mentioned, I've been in the mortgage business now 25 years. Back then, you didn't actually have to be graduated from high school when you started. How do you grow a business? How do you grow a pipeline? How do you get clients? How do you get trusted professionals to trust you, to introduce you to their most valuable thing, which is their clients? So someone invited me to my first networking event, and I'm pretty social and comfortable in a small environment, but here I was thrown into a big room of people, a little bit on the younger side, a little green in my business, and certainly didn't even know what networking meant. And a lot of people I find still don't know what networking means. And so I walked into this room full of people, and And everybody in the room just talked about their business, asked about your business, and ultimately it was to help each other, grow our businesses through these warm referrals, which sounded easy, or certainly sounded simple, but it's not easy because you actually have to participate at a high level for this to work. I speak to hundreds of people a month who are actively networking, but they're actually not connecting, and they're not building relationships over time that turn into really valuable connections to grow your business. I mean, I met Bill Walsh through BNI because a member who's a good friend of mine said, "You must meet this man. Bill Walsh is unbelievable. You will connect with him." And then I was off to speaker camp and all these various stages that I've been able to stand on. And that was from one initial connection with someone who is still someone in my life 10 years later, who set up an appointment for me to come to Bill's event, sit down. I got to have lunch with Bill that day. I don't know if you remember, Bill. We were at, I think we were at Grand Central Station in one of those steakhouses. So it's not just meeting people, it's meeting people and then making a relationship. And how do you take a relationship and turn it into money? And, we don't want to bury the lead. Ultimately, we're looking to meet people in our businesses to grow our Rolodex, that's what we used to call it, so that we can monetize it. How can I help someone else monetize their business? And ultimately, it comes back to me, because if I help them, people naturally want to help you. So I've been networking now as an active participating sport for 25 years. And about 15 years ago, I was asked to work for BNI, which is one of my biggest loves in this world, is to be able to help people learn this skill, because it is a skill. It doesn't come naturally to everyone. You could be a gabber and you could be, a matchmaker kind of person, but to actually learn the skills of how to present yourself in such a way without selling, right, but connecting and having people want to help you. So I'm very grateful to be able to be a coach who does this. I do it for people, within the organization. I do it privately, but I am doing a 20-person class, which is going to be a lot of fun each week for 8 weeks. And part of why I want to do it in a group environment is because you're going to practice it together and actually build from the relationships in that. So yeah, I mean, my business is all about networking. Everything I do.
What would you say are the top 3 mistakes, or whatever number of mistakes, that most people make when it comes to networking?
I think one of the top ones is not following up. It's like if you go to the gym once, right? If you go to the gym once, you're not getting in shape. If you go to the gym twice, you'll get in a little shape. But if you go all the time, so you must follow up. If you meet someone and just give out your business cards and take a bunch of business cards, and now it's not even cards anymore, right? We're sharing our information digitally. But if you do nothing with that information, it didn't mean anything. You could just pile them up. It doesn't matter. So following up. Also, I do think people tend to sell, right? When you meet someone and you connect with someone and you're thinking, what can they do for me, right? Let me see if I could sell them my product. And it's quite the opposite. It's how can I help you? I mean, and that's right out of Ivan's book, right? You start the conversation with, tell me about you. I mean, tell me about your business. Tell me who I can introduce you to. I mean, it's how Bill, introduces people all the time. The minute we met, it was, who can I connect you with and what different things can I do to help you? And I think the third thing is thinking that it doesn't take effort, thinking that it's just this natural thing that's going to happen, that you're going to meet somebody once and they're just going to give you business. And then that just going to a networking event is networking. Just show up, but it's actually not. You have to actually participate.
And once they get that part down, right, what would you say are a few keys they can do to follow up? How long do you wait? Do you wait a day? Do you wait 4 days? What's like those, I guess, the things that it's just that people just don't know this stuff. So they don't know what to do. So they make the mistake. And do you phone them? Do you text them? Do you email them? How do you even follow? What's the best way to follow up?
Well, that's interesting too, right? So 25 years ago, we didn't have all these options. There was no texting. You actually had to pick up a phone. If we talk about pre-COVID, right, when we were meeting everybody in person, I would say, yeah, you drop someone a note afterwards. I have someone I work with. I mean, she's unbelievable. She sends a handwritten note after she meets with someone. She'll send a handwritten note, even if you did something nice for her, and she just sends you a note and say, hey, I just want to let you know, like, she really reaches out. And when you open the mail, I mean, boy, who gets mail anymore? It's so impactful. So you could reach out with a note. Of course, the easiest, goes without saying, is sending someone a follow-up email. I think if you meet someone, that the same day to send an email just saying, hey, it was great to meet you, would love to reconnect, right? It's kind of like dating, right? You sit back and you say, well, let them reach out first, or I don't want to look too, aggressive about it or too needy. But, the truth is, people like to be acknowledged and people like to be recognized. And so if you think about how you would like it, right? If you meet someone, you have a cup of coffee with them, or you exchange, 20 minutes at an event, and they take the time to find your business card, find your email, and email you and say, hey, Bill, it was so great to meet you today. It was so interesting to hear that you love the football Giants as much as I do. Looking forward to our next time we can chat. And that's it. Don't sell them anything, right? Because nobody wants to be sold. You don't want to be sold, right? So certainly a follow-up email at the very least. And then, you shouldn't, if you're not reaching out to people to get them to buy something from you, then there's not too many times that you could reach out, especially if you're reaching out to help them. If you're reaching out to say, hey, I'm going to an event next week. I thought maybe you'd like it. Here's the information. Maybe you'll meet me there. It's all how you approach. I don't think it's too often if it's done the right way. Texting, I think, is a little more personal these days, so I would be mindful of, I think the first touch would be an email and the second touch could be a text if the person is a texter. But if you reach out and ask them something that helps them, hey, I saw this article. I thought you'd really appreciate it. Hey, I just tried this product. I thought maybe it would help your business. As long as you're not selling, I don't think there's too quick or too often.
Let me give you a little more time on this one. And I'm just going to let you go on your own for about at least 10, 12 minutes. But I know when someone works with you over these 8 weeks, you have 8 very specific programming sessions. I'd like you to just pick 2 or 3 of those and maybe do a little deeper dive on those, maybe about 3 minutes each or 4 minutes each on these, and then I'll be back. But I want you to kind of do a deep dive on what would someone, and guys, just so you know, I don't know, there's not many networkers that can play at the level that Jackie plays at. So if you get a chance to work with her, I know she charges more than $5,000 a quarter for some private coaching, but I asked her, would you do something for like 20 of our top people or 20 individuals where you can work with them over 8 weeks to really help them become better networkers? Because I'm sorry, but a lot of people, they think they're great networkers, but if people aren't calling you back, it means that your network might not have been that effective, right? So if you could just take maybe 10 or 12 minutes and just kind of go on a roll here, I would love for you to share just maybe a little deeper dive on a few of the areas that when they work with you, you're going to work with them on. And then, guys, once again, if any of this stuff resonates with what I'm talking about today, you got to apply to be a part of the program. You just text the word connector. It's pretty cool. You text the word connector to 26786. You'll get a quick application. If she lets you in the program, you're in. So text the word connector to 26786. But Jack, let me turn this over to you for about 10 or 12 minutes. You can kind of go on a run here on your own and just really go a little deeper dive in that. Maybe pick 3 of the zones you'll talk about and a little deeper dive in each one of those sections, because my belief is everyone needs your program. I've watched you network with the best, and I've watched you build amazing rooms and groups. And you didn't do it once; you've done it multiple times in one of the toughest cities in the world to network. Right? It's not easy to be a top networker in New York City because, let's face it, you got to know your stuff. I love New York because it's all matter of fact. Right? There's no left or right BS. Just tell me exactly what it is, and I love that. But some people are, they don't have quite that approach to it. But I'd love for you to take some time and just kind of share, 3 of those big zones you would talk about if someone decided to team up with you today.
Terrific. Thank you, Bill. And yeah, I like the idea of actually doing group coaching because we can actually act it out together in that after 8 weeks of being on a call with 20 other professionals, if at the end of those 8 weeks you have not built connections with those 20 people, then I've done something wrong and we have not, solved the big question is, how do you connect with people, especially now when we're connecting by video and online? So the first thing I would focus on is people's message. One of the things I do really well with people is pull out from them who they want to meet, who their perfect client is, who the demographic is. So let's take, for example, I'm working with a financial professional. A lot of people in finance, in insurance, in mortgage, and in real estate. Obviously, we're in industries where there's no salary. Most of us probably on this call, we're all entrepreneurs. We are here to learn how to get new clients, keep our clients, and keep revenue streams going. And if I said to you, who do you want to meet? Who's your perfect client? The majority of people will be silent for a second and actually have to think for a while. Yeah, who is my perfect client? What is the demographic of the person that I want to meet? Who's the person who I can help the most with the service I provide? Right? So I'm going to talk about my friend Sean, who's on this call right now. So Sean Lashley, he's with a company called 10,000 Cards, right? And he came to my networking meeting the other day, and boy, did he shine, because he has this great product, and I'm going to tell Bill about it later because it's awesome for everybody who's building a business. And it's a digital business card. But I'm like, okay, Sean, who do you want to meet? So, okay, he could say, I want to meet just entrepreneurs. Well, sure, I can fill a room with entrepreneurs, but let's narrow that down. What kind of entrepreneurs? What kind of business or businesses are these entrepreneurs in? Okay, so Sean said to me, I want to meet people like you, Jackie, who network, who have a lot of people that you want to contact at one time. I said, great. And what is it that you're going to do for them, right? So each time I work with someone about who their target market is, I'm pulling out of them, and I would be pulling out of you, who do you want to meet? And the next part is, if I put that person right in front of you, what would you say to them? What is it? What service do you provide? What benefit do you provide? How are you going to help them with the problem that they have? Everybody has some problem. And one of the best things about New York is if you say to a New Yorker, how are you? They are going to tell you. And it is going to be a complaint of some kind. It is going to be, I'm in financial pain or emotional pain or physical pain or real estate pain or some kind of pain, right? And we're all here as entrepreneurs and business owners to solve people's problems. Right? That's what Bill Walsh and Power Team does. They're solving the problem of you growing your business and you being an entrepreneur and you getting all the referrals into your marketing funnel and how you can really be successful at what you do. Right? So you have to know what your why is, what you solve for your client, who your client is, so that when I run into that person that you've told me you want to meet, I know exactly what to tell them. So let's use, for example, I built my whole mortgage business on networking. So I want you to introduce me to people who want to buy a house. Okay. So you run into your friends and they say, I want to buy a house. And now you need to know, so Jackie, what should I tell them? I've now met your perfect client. So I need to be able to tell you, I want them to know that I've been in the business 20 years. I get the best interest rates. I will take them through this problem of getting a mortgage, and they will be in their home in 30 days. With the lowest rate possible. I want to give you bullet points of specific things that you can say about me, so that when you meet my perfect client, they will say, of course I want her name and number. Please connect me. So I help you figure out your who, what, why, when, and where, which is, who do you want to meet? What is it that you're going to do for them? Where do they want to go with the service that you provide them? And then how do we get you to the next perfect client? So if you can describe your perfect client, I can introduce you to another perfect client. But if when I say to you, who do you want to meet, you don't know, or if I say to you, who's your best client, or who's the last client you helped, or tell me a success story of the last client that walked through your door. Describe to me the whale of a client. If you could draw and illustrate the exact client that would change your life, who is that person? Literally down to who is it? What does that person do for a living? What industry are they in? What position at that company are they in? Let's say you're in commercial real estate, and I'm just picking things out of random categories. Commercial real estate brokers want people whose companies are moving, right? Really big, wide net, but narrow it down. What kind of company, right? Who's the person at that company that's the perfect person for you to speak to? Don't just say decision maker. Tell me the name and title of the decision maker. If you're networking and you're looking for people to help you refer you, don't let us go on a treasure hunt to figure out who you want to meet. Tell us. Be really, really specific, right? So one of the things that we do during the course, one of the a whole session is on fine-tuning your message, pinpointing your target market, your demographic, and knowing it cold. You know, the term elevator pitch comes from riding in an elevator. The period of time that it would take you if you got in the elevator on the 10th floor with a stranger or your neighbor or someone, and you're making conversation from the 10th floor down to the lobby, you had that period of time to talk about yourself and your business. You wouldn't have a lot of time for fat on the bone. Like, oh, well, we do that. It's very, oh, I'm Jackie, I'm in the mortgage business, or I'm a networking coach, and this is what I do. I help my clients. You need to be able to do that elevator pitch without it sounding like it's a pitch. So there's a very specific skill in that, and we work on that. I help literally write the verbiage, but then we practice saying it in a natural, authentic way. Because just like you as a receiver of someone else's message, if it doesn't sound authentic, it's not going to work, right? So you need to feel it so that when it comes out, it's as natural and honest and authentic as it can be. So a lot of time spent on how you separate yourself from the competition. Why you? I mean, listen, there's a trillion mortgage brokers in the country. Why me? And it isn't even just cheapest. No one likes to sell rate. No one likes to sell fee. How many of you want to go out and say, come to me, I'm the cheapest? Never been to a networking group or a networking event or heard people speak and say, my number one reason for you to hire me is because I'm the cheapest. We don't want to sell price. You want to sell value. You want to sell authenticity. You want to sell integrity. And you want your message to say that about you, right? I knew the first time I spoke to Sean Lashley of 10,000 Cards that this guy was the real deal, and that if I referred him to somebody else, he'd make me look good. And that's what you want people to think about when they talk about you. You want people to say, she or he is the real deal. They will get the job done. They will show up for you because this is what they do. And so you have to be able to tell me and the other people what that is. So first deep dive would be into your message. Now, it segued into the elevator pitch, but just remember, right now, we've gone from in-person to networking like this, which is, it's got some pros and it's got some cons, and it won't be forever. Obviously, we're in many states, we're already back to in-person, but this is going to be part of our world. Part of the follow-up is not going to be each time you connect with somebody, it's going to be over coffee or in person. Your second, third, fourth, even 10th connection is going to be like this. And it's a whole new world. I didn't have a lot of time to plan and get my backdrop and get my whole thing, but it really is important how you present on camera, right? It should be somewhat of a pleasing background. You need to, you want people to see you authentically and feel comfortable with you, whether it's in person or on camera. And though it feels when you're on camera that you're performing, you want to try not to perform. One of the best things that came out of me being in this networking world and standing on the stage is someone grabbed me and really forced me into taking a comedy course. And I've been blessed enough to be able to do comedy on stage. And I have to tell you that the best part about it is that you learn to be authentic and realize that you can't fool an audience. When you get up and do stand-up comedy, it is raw. It is about your family or yourself, or it's real life stories that you put a funny twist on, hopefully. But you can't fake that. And so people see that when you're not authentic. So you can't practice being authentic, right? It's a be. But when we're in a class and we're working with each other and we get comfortable over an 8-week period, we're going to be able to let our hair down a little bit and be comfortable in, just tell me who you are, right? Tell me who you are through your business. Why is your business important to you? Getting to your real comfort level so that when you are telling someone how you're going to help them, they get it. They really get your passion. And like, I know when I talk about networking and I talk about this, that it comes through that I'm passionate about it. There's no question about it. I don't have to put it on. It doesn't matter how I feel that day. When I get on this topic, as my dad would say, I'm jazzed. So that's the part people want to see about you. People love good energy. People want to be around people who feel good about what they do and who make them feel good. right? This whole concept of, how can I get people to give me business? It's totally the opposite. It's how can I give people business? How can I help someone? Because ultimately, that's what makes this whole networking thing work. It's not getting together in a group of people and, like I said, passing business cards and saying, who's going to give me something? You can spot those people in a minute when you walk into a room and they're doing more of the talking, they're selling, they're pushing their business card on you. That's the person you're going to quickly try to walk away from, so you don't want to be that person. So one of the things, and again, it's not so easy to become overnight this person who's comfortable talking about themselves on the spot like that, but we will practice that over and over. And it's like any other learned skill. I was not able to just talk for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or even 2 hours. I mean, tomorrow I'm doing a 2-hour networking training for, I think, 40 people on Zoom, and it used to be in person. And so I've had to rework my whole style and build a fun PowerPoint that has pictures and real content, and at the same time be authentic, simultaneously, because 2 hours of staring at a screen in a classroom style is not that engaging. So we all have to learn to adapt to making connections and then keeping them on video. And I do think it's really important. The difference between a phone call and a video call does really make a difference. And what I'm finding is very interesting is that before COVID, most phone calls were phone calls. And now even the same phone calls have become, why don't we just do it by video? And I think it's a great advantage we have now of being able to connect with people who we would never meet. Let's say you're in New York and you're doing business with someone in LA. You might not ever meet your client, but now you can very easily say, let's do it by video, and people say yes to that. And so I think that's a really a good thing to add into our toolbox, even when we go back to in-person networking. And I don't know, again, what that's going to look like. Are we going to be shaking hands and sitting around a table having breakfast together? I don't know. But certainly smaller meetings and one-on-one connections will continue. So I think we all really need to hone our skills on this virtual meetings. And the third thing I want to focus on is how you become influential, and how influence really is the key to all this. So one thing we can change is that it takes time to build a relationship, right? You can't meet someone on Monday and now you have a deep-rooted relationship on Tuesday. And it won't even happen by the following Monday. It takes time to build a relationship. And it takes time, not where time can just go by. I meet you in January and then I touch base with you 4 months later and now we have a relationship that's 4 months. It's nothing. So in order to become influential, you have to become memorable, and you have to become a real solid connection for someone where you're available to them and you're on their minds, right? So social media helps us in that one place. I mean, I could go months without speaking to Bill Walsh, but I can't forget Bill Walsh because I got social media and I feel like I know what he's doing. I know where he is. I know how his kids are. I know the newest thing Power Team is doing, and you always feel connected. So I do think remaining in people's mindset, social media is a great tool. But to be influential, you have to be that person who is the go-to. And what I find I've developed a real gift for is people will call me for anything. It doesn't even matter what it is, whether it's, do you have a dog walker? Do you have an estate attorney? Jackie, I know you know everybody. Who do you have? Who do you know? I got a text this morning at 8 a.m. Hey, I'm having a problem with my car. Do you have a lemon law attorney? I said, I will have one for you in 10 minutes. And in 10 minutes, I sent a note to my network and I said, who has a good lemon law attorney? Within 4 minutes from there, I had a phone call with someone who was ready to take the phone call of my client. None of that puts money in my pocket. None of that. Certainly not directly. But here's what I did. Obviously, I helped my client who needed a lemon law attorney. But this lemon law attorney now knows me, and now I'm on his radar because I got him a client. Now, I didn't just randomly introduce them. I first made sure that the person who introduced me to this person knew this person, knew he was good at what he does, and was worthy of being introduced to my client. All that happened from 8 a.m. to 8:15 today. The initial contact from the person who needed the service, the connection with my friend who knew them, the attorney, and then they all spoke. And all 4 of those people in that story think I'm influential, because I am, because I was able to move that, right? And everybody got what they needed in that interaction. It wasn't even a transaction, just interaction. So how do you become influential? How do you become that person that everybody calls you first? And so what the great thing is, everybody calls me first for everything, right? And one day it will be for what I sell. Maybe it will be because they want to take a course. Maybe it will be because they want a mortgage. Maybe it will just be because, they need a dog walker and I'm not going to walk their dog, but I'll get them one. So what you want to become is the person people call for everything. And so following up and being available and making it happen is the only way you build that reputation. So if this morning when I got to rewind the story, I got a text, hey, do you have a lemon law attorney? And I said, I'll get back to you or I'll let you know. And then I never complete the circle. Not only do I not get influence, I lose it. I lose credibility and I lose that ongoing reputation of being the go-to. Just call Jackie. She'll get it done for you. And that, I think, is the key to all of this. It doesn't happen overnight. It is a learned skill. It is work. So I think it was Ivan Meisner, and I want to give the quote where it came from. This whole thing is very simple. Get up every day, pick up the phone, call people back, do the right thing, know your message, speak clearly, all these things that we say you need to do. Simple, but it's not easy. It's not easy to do all these things every day. Now, what they say about everything is, to make something a habit, you have to do it. And Bill told me this directly, to be able to sell and stand on a stage and do this, you have to do it, I think it's 100 times. Well, it's the same thing with this. It's the same thing with networking. It's the same thing with everything. If you do it once and you do it twice, you're just not going to be good at it. If you look at, I don't know if, a lot of people have been watching The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan 10 series thing. He didn't accidentally become the best. It takes work. So whatever it is you choose to do, you got to do it, and you got to do it all the time. And then eventually it becomes second nature, right? It actually becomes part of you where you don't have to think about it. Oh, that's right. If I do this right now, I'll become influential. I don't think that anymore. It's just who I am. And it's a really big piece of being a great networker. You can go to a networking event. That doesn't make you a networker. It's like you could go to the gym, but it doesn't make you an athlete, right? It's what you do at the gym that makes you an athlete. So it's what you do at a networking event, or it's what you do with the relationships you make that makes you a connector. So hopefully that makes sense. So again, the 8 weeks will be fun. There'll be a bunch of different people from different industries, from different cities, from different states, and I would love to have you.
And you're thinking to start of August? Is that the plan?
Yes, we're going to start in August.
Program. Mm-hmm. So everybody, if you're listening today, and it's one last question before we finish, but just text the word connector to 26786. It's right there on your screen, and you'll get a call with Jackie, see if it's a good fit. And if it is, take advantage of it. Don't wait. Because I just want to ask you this last question. How much do you think it costs people if they're not networking or ever learn how to network effectively? How much money do you think they leave on a table? How much do you think an executive leaves on the table each year if they never actually take the time to learn how to become a really effective connector and / networker?
I mean, if I just equate it to my numbers, it's $100,000 easily. I mean, it depends on what you do for a living. But to me, I don't know how else. Put it this way: there's a lot of different things. You guys teach so many things, but this is an important, integral piece of it.
It is.
And you network when you go to the dry cleaner, Bill. It's like, it's how you talk to people and it's how you connect. I mean, you're the master, right? And so
if you're a good connector to the dry cleaner, they'll have your banners up there selling your stuff by the time the conversation is over. If not, there'll be 3 other dry cleaners that do.
Exactly.
Well, Jackie, listen, keep up the great work. Look forward to seeing you in New York. Maybe not for a little while, but when all the craziness clears. Love New York City. Love the work that you do. And
Thanks.
please, everyone, if you're serious about becoming better at connecting, becoming an ultimate connector, take advantage of this class right away. We'll restream this class and send it back out. But if you could get for one of those 20 slots, I would. And if not, maybe it's not a great fit. I would still get the session with Jackie, see if she can work with you some way, because there's no doubt that she is a master at what she does and she lives it every day. Jackie Franks, I'll let you go. You're awesome as always. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You too, Bill. Great to see you.
Appreciate
Bye.
you. Awesome. So you heard it here first, right? You heard about how to get media, how to get on top of the media game, and then you just heard about how to network like a rock star. I can tell you this, that you put those two things together, that is a 7-figure equation for a lot of entrepreneurs. Become a brilliant networker and get good media. Team up with the #1 trusted source of media in the country. Text iHEART to 26786 for all that information kit, right? It's just great stuff. I'm going to turn it back to Michael Silvers. He's got a powerhouse panel for you. You do not want to go anywhere. If you could do me a favor, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our Twitch channel if you're on Twitch or YouTube. And of course, if you're on Facebook, then do a watch party. Get as many folks on the stream as you can. But with that, Michael, I'll turn it back to you.
Fantastic. Thank you. It's so great to be back on. You know, I realized when you look at success, right, and they always talk about size, you know why Bill is so much more successful than I am? He's got more banners than I do. I just look behind him. But it's been a great to be on today. It's just great to have. Really, we got iHeart Media. Everybody, did you take notes? I know Bill and I were furious. I'm like, all right, I'm going to rewatch that section over and over, because you have to look at what they've developed and how much they've built and what you can learn from that. That's just a huge critical piece. The other thing is, from the panelists we had on, what were those tidbits that you took away? And are you going to ipowerteam.com/freedom? Are you going on there, and are you making sure that you're connecting with these amazing VIP panelists, right? And you've got to hear, I went through masterminds and being part of what we do and our program. It's just amazing. Now we're going to have the most amazing panel you've ever seen, and then you're going to have the most amazing training from our CEO, which is going to just drive you to that next level. And have just a great time. I've got to text one thing. Then we have 6. Okay. But it truly, this is going to be a panel that rock and rolls. This is going to be a panel that just takes you to the next level. And I'm going to train our panelists really quickly, and then we're going to get rolling. So it's just a great day. Hold on the teams are. It's just a great day, and life is good. So when I bring the panelists on, panelists, shake your head so I can see you all down there. Panelists, there we go. Panelists, there we go. Panelists, there. Okay, fantastic. The other thing, too, that way I can make sure you hear me. So what the panelists know is every answer, when you have a panel, it's really critical that the panelists know how much time. So every answer is less than a minute. We're gonna go through your learnings, but what every panelist is going to do eventually is get to the point that I'm going to ask them what are 2 or 3 things you can do right now if you never listen to anything else again that you can help move your business or your own life forward. That'll be a critical piece. That'll be one of the last questions. So get ready for that. And then don't forget to work with them. It's very, very simple. I see you all down there. It's very, very simple to work with them. You just go to ipowerteam.com/freedom. You'll find the panelist name. If for any reason you can't get on or you don't see it, you can always just text SBA to 26786. You get an appointment with me. I'll direct you where you need to go. And life is really good. And I'm done playing with the banners. Okay, good. So here we go. Our next amazing panel, let's meet. And this is just how they got on. Mr. Albert Corey, Teresa Puskar, Jennifer Horspool, Berkeley Geddes, and Blair Rokoff. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Hi, everybody.
You guys rock and roll. All right, we're going to dive right in. And the biggest thing, first of all, have you been watching the stream today? It has just been amazing. And to have the senior vice president for iHeart Media really just dropping the tidbits of where things are today and where they're going, that was just brilliant. To have, our last speaker, Jacqueline, really talk about networking has been great. The best game on the planet, House Guests from Hell, right? Go get it, houseguestsfromhell.com. It's been amazing. Our first panel, and you guys, it is rock star time. So here we go. Very simply, they don't know who you are. So in a short period of time, everybody knows a minute, okay? But tell them who you are and what you bring to the world, and we'll get into it a little bit deeper. We'll go. Last time we started with the women because women always go first, but we'll start with Albert this time.
Hey guys, my name is Albert Corey from Miami, and we show small businesses how to increase their profits with limited or no resources. Same system I've been using for over 35 years to grow a very successful 7-figure practice and on the power team stages for the last 2 years.
Oh, you rock and roll. Teresa.
Hi there, my name is Teresa Pushkar. I'm from Chicago, born originally in Canada, so I'm American. So I am all about helping you become the ultimate influencer. Jackie talked about inner-outer connection. So I share with you inner connection techniques, how to declutter your brain, etc., so that you can become the person on stage and create that book you want. I have history in the publication world as a producer and a writer and an author. So I help you go from concept right to page, to get that book written, and then to getting onto stage.
Fantastic. Jennifer.
I am Jennifer L. Horsepool. I am a PR, marketing, and brand experience expert, and we turn people and brands into the go-to experts in their industry. So it sort of combines everything that you learned today into one program that's media and presence and just raising your level of credibility so that sales become easier.
Fantastic. Berkeley.
Yes, Berkeley Gaddis from Phoenix, Arizona. Hello, everyone, and honored to be here with Power Team International. Thanks for the invite to join this expert panel. In terms of what I do, I've been a serial entrepreneur all my life and have been in front of many different investment groups seeking for funding, and realize that there is a process to acquire funding. So if you're an entrepreneur and need money, if you're a business person and need funding, what I seek to do is to assist business owners and entrepreneurs find their optimal path to funding. If you do the right thing, there is money out there for you. You can acquire it. And if you learn the language of funding, it makes it a whole lot easier to acquire the money that is needed to see business be successful. That's what I do.
Fantastic. And our next speaker, I'm going to do a little intro for her because she literally just walked in the door, did this as a favor. She's amazing. So Blair Rockoff actually owns her own gym, comes from the Chicago area. She just literally got done with clients, has a whole virtual suite of teaching online, ran home. You probably hit the shower on the way through, God knows what, right? Or the car wash. You got home and you got on this call you're amazing with a minute to spare. Go ahead, Blair.
Yeah, so pretty much that. I did start running with my dog on the way. But yeah, my name is Blair Rockoff. I own a gym called Rock Solid Health, which is located in the Chicago area. And we help people in all areas of health, fitness, wellness, mindset, really help to fit those aspects into their life into a sustainable way that they can be healthy and do the things they love to do without being stressed about it. We now work with people virtually as well as bringing things in person as phase 4 comes into play. But ultimately, we want to help people feel the best that they can and live their life to the fullest. And when you don't feel good about yourself because you don't know how to take care and fit that in, especially busy entrepreneurs, we're really good at one thing, and sometimes that has a negative effect on certain areas. So I really like to help people in a simple way fit different little tweaks into their life so that they can live optimally.
Awesome. Fantastic. It's great to have all of you on. there's things that influence us in our lives. And it's interesting because the panel earlier, usually you say, what's the book that influenced you, or what interest, what was when you were a kid? And some of them were like the latest podcast I'm listening to, or this YouTube channel. So whether it's a podcast, a YouTube channel, a book, look, rereading Think and Grow Rich is like the best thing you could do on the planet. But whatever that is for you, it was great because we had we had a big podcast, and he's like, oh, this is the greatest podcast right now. But whatever that is for you right now, what's either has influenced you to get you where you're at, or what's influencing you right now with the shift we've had in the world out there? Again, just take about a minute, and I'll start with Berkeley.
Yes, boy, Mike, lots of books. Over my career, I've read a lot of books. One of the anchor foundational books for me was Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And then later on, I just really dissected Ken Iverson's Plain Talk and the story of and the success of Nucor Steel. I love the simplicity of that book. It's a short read, but those are just two. But I could go on. So,
oh, you're amazing, Albert.
Well, what really was pretty cool was I've been practicing forever. We were doing fax returns and hanging out with clients by fax. We went from 400 fax returns to over 1,100 fax returns, and really, really, really realizing the power of my cell phone to go quickly and go do Facebook Lives. Just go to Albert Corey, and you can see like almost every day I give those little nuggets, and those little nuggets add up to a lot of gold nuggets because you're doing more than ever what I call edumacation. You learn the skill of edumacation, and your wall will be seeing a lot of gold nuggets because nobody's out there trying to help and teach. At the end of the day, you become the star because everybody has a burnt out candle.
Yeah, very much. Blair.
I would say right now I'm influenced and inspired by my clients' feedback on what providing services during this time has given them and the impact it's having on their life. And just reading messages from them inspires me to work through the challenging stuff and figure out ways to keep going and grow the business in a way that we can continually to have impact on more people. So
that's right, and it makes a difference. And you went from actually a gym that was fully in person to a virtual suite now. So I'll have you talk about that in a little bit, okay? But that was great. You shifted. You didn't blink. You didn't say, "Oh my gosh, we're dead." You automatically shifted, and that was just brilliantly done. Teresa.
Well, the major influencer for me, Michael, has been virtual community. Hugely, hugely, hugely. I connect 3 times a day to get quiet, focus, do programs like this. Years ago, you didn't have this available to you. Everybody was doing teasers, but information wasn't shared. And these days, there's a plethora of information. So being connected from within and then connecting with those around you, maintaining a positive state of mind, clearing your brain clutter, really makes a difference.
Oh, amazing. Jennifer?
So I have 2 big points. First of all, actually, on the side note, how great is Blair's name for a gym owner? Rock off. Are you kidding?
Oh, yeah.
I'm in branding and I'm like, cha-ching, Bill Walsh has been a tremendous influence on me on the way that he just shifted and created all these things and uses technology that, like the Remo and the different, like this StreamYard is just fantastic. And so Bill has been a great inspiration for me and all of the Power Team, team members, but also my book, the book that I reference on a regular basis, and especially during times like this, like COVID, is Tom Brokaw's book from the 80s. And it's The Greatest Generation. And it talks about all of the innovation that came about during the Great Depression, when all the laymen were laid off and had no jobs and they were at home, and they created things like Monopoly and Scrabble and the YMCA and Little League. All those things came out of the Great Depression, including the chocolate chip cookie, which is my favorite. It's the time when we have these down times, and I said this in 2008, and I'm saying it again now. When we have these down times, it's really the innovation that creates the next wave and the next ride that we're going to go up. And so it's like when one door closes, other ones open. So what can you be creating in today's virtual world that really gets people connected? And that's why Bill's such a great influence to me.
I love it. And it's really that shift, or, it's all marketing, right? Everything's marketing. Let's all say marketing is a good thing.
Marketing is a good thing.
Marketing's a good thing. I mean, I even walked into a local Bartell's is sort of a Seattle-based drugstore, like Rite Aid, like remember Save On, and I could go back to Thrifties, and they're carrying Girl Scout cookies. So the Girl Scouts shifted, right? We can't be walking up to people's doors. We can't be doing what we're doing. So we shifted into a different marketing strategy. And it's you do what it takes not to survive. Hopefully you do what it takes to create solutions to problems.
Future value.
Yep. And that's the critical piece. So if I was to walk away today and I decided that I'm never going to watch anything again, why you would do that, I don't know. Why you wouldn't want these people to coach you, I don't know. But if what that, can you each think of 3 bullet points that you could give me of things I could do today that could help my life, my business, my finance, my health, whatever it is, move forward? That would be critical. I'm going to start with Teresa.
Thank you, Michael. Right now, I believe we're at a tipping point in the world. We are at a point where we're choosing whether we are choosing fear and reactivity in our lives or love and proactivity. So the first bullet point I would suggest is to go within, to look inside, brain clutter. We have, most of us, about 60,000 thoughts a day. Of those 60,000, 85% are negative and repetitive. So going into the brain and going, where are my fears? And actually asking the universe, show me my fears, and start writing them down, start paying attention. Then once we know what they are, really allowing ourselves to express them and feel into them. And then finally, once the brain clutter gets cleared, then you can start telling your story. You can see, what is my message? I produced all the top best-selling authors for years at Nightingale Conan. And people would say to me, who the heck am I, Teresa, to write a book or to get on stage? Who are you not? We are all epic heroes in our own journey, but you got to clear that clutter. You got to find out who you are underneath it all. So do that and then get moving.
And then get moving. Oh, love it. Berkeley.
Yeah, Teresa, great advice. And I would just double down on what Teresa has said and said, I've often thought about what's the grandest and noblest quest that is worthy of our time and our attention. And to that, I would say probably the quest to seek for truth. Mm-hmm. And anytime we embrace and live consistent with known truth, it always leads to the greatest happiness that we could achieve as individuals. So I would say a point second to Teresa's is align that discovery with the discovery of truth. And then I would go further in terms of relative to our current situation. It has always been the entrepreneurs that have gotten us out of our trials and challenges, both as a culture, as a community, as a nation. The magic of this great nation that we're a part of, America, is it was the first nation on the planet that provided a system that protected its entrepreneurs in pursuing entrepreneurial dreams. So I would say if anyone that has thought about being an entrepreneur, if you're not already, that is a coveted title. That's a coveted position to be in. I would say own it, embrace it, either come with a great idea and pursue it, or find someone who's got a great idea and entrepreneur by joining them. Either way, you're still an entrepreneur. That's the 2 main ways to become an entrepreneur: ideate yourself or affiliate with someone who is ideating. And beyond that, I would say then align yourselves with some great mentors. And here I would follow on with what Jennifer has said and the Power Team International. What Bill Walsh has assembled with Power Team International is nothing short of spectacular. It's amazing what Bill Walsh is doing for business experts and entrepreneurs around the world, especially here, in America as well, is just fantastic. So find a good mentor. If you don't know one, Bill can get you connected with a mentor. I guarantee that, and a phenomenal mentor. Beyond that, I would say vision, people, process. Own the vision, assemble a subset of the right people, and embrace those processes like marketing, personal processes to keep your health active, get in contact with Blair and her programs and Healthy Mind and what the panelists here represent will bring processes forward for you that will assist you in being successful. Absolutely. Blair.
So a few things. So actually a little bit to play on what Berkeley just said. I feel for people who are in a leadership role, it's really important to have leaders above you. So in this world, mentorship, like you're talking about, to lead a bunch of clients and to lead a small team, if I don't have people to help me, I don't feel I can be as effective. So I think mentorship and leadership are super important. As it relates to health and fitness, what I see a lot is that people keep holding on and going back to old ways that don't work anymore. And we feel like we need to keep going back to really restrictive ways of being and eating and working out in order to get results. And it's just not the way that's going to work for most people. So being open to taking a new approach and working through letting go of things that you could have been holding on to for 10 and 20 years. And the other thing that goes with that is that it doesn't have to be massive for it to be effective. So you can do something tomorrow that's not a fully programmed plan. You can go for a 5-minute walk, a 10-minute walk. Anything is better than nothing. So even if you were to make your meal that you were going to eat a little bit better, it's better than doing nothing at all. So that's what I have.
And that's actually huge, because what people do, and you know this within the workout world, right? Within all of our worlds, business world, is I try to basically bite off so much, right? That I never do anything, because it all becomes too imposing. And even, you're right, the 5-10 minute walk, I say to people, if you're doing calls like this, Bill was asking, he was texting, where are you a minute ago when he was on, right? I was just pacing up and down my house, right? I was just, getting in the steps, moving around, doing what it takes, instead of thinking, well, maybe I won't do it because I'm not putting an hour in.
Yeah, exactly. Like, no, it's actually not better to do a 5-hour event one day a week. It's better to do little chunks throughout. Same way you approach, anything. And it's hard because we have a very all or nothing mentality. Like I have the same way, and so when I coach people, I know from my own experience, like I want to do the big approach, but I know that to make it last over time, I really have to chunk it down. So we're busy people, and you got to figure out what you can put into your life that you can do in a month, and 2 months, and a year, and that you'd still be doing. That's right. Effective coaching comes in, and that's where personal training and nutrition coaching, we help people figure out the best way to implement something into their life.
That's right. And, it's amazing because you were in a brick and mortar, right? And, you are a owner of a gym for over 7 years now. So you've made it past most of the milestones of where most fail. So that's where you want to learn from somebody like Blair and the team. I'm going to move on to the next two, but who have been doing this for a long time, have gotten through those milestones. It's not their first rodeo, but they also understand what's going on out there right now, and we're able to make those shifts. So fantastic. Albert.
I say in this time is you got to take action. It's pretty cool that everybody's down. My office stayed open, by the way, doing covert. But you got to learn how to shift and rock and roll and take action. We didn't close because we were building the steps from day one. From doing my 5 minutes a day marketing. If people see I'm on Facebook, right, Michael, every day doing my little video. So every day. I teach 5 minutes a day. You can get your business going. I take action every day. Go to start seeing all these free events. When this thing breaks out, everybody has free events. Take advantage of them. Another thing I see in business, guys, is since I do a lot of business stuff and I'm getting business coaching, pay your stuff on time. My big thing is how to increase your bottom line. Well, guess what? Pay your estimated payments. Corporations are coming due. Pay it ahead of time. Property taxes are due. Pay it ahead. What does that mean? You're going to put money in your pocket. Most people don't go to the program. I have people always complaining, oh, I didn't know that that Colbert said I could file in late. Well, now you're getting a letter saying you owe money to the government. Well, if you would listen to the emails I wrote and text and Facebook and everything else, you realize this stuff was due on March 15th and not like do what everybody says. The people just got to go out, go to events, and market themselves with, and it's free marketing into this thing. You know, this is free. You just go out there and don't say you're camera shy. Just go and do what I call education marketing. And Michael knows I'm out there every day doing this.
Every day, and you're amazing that you do it. So it's just amazing. You know, of course, I've lost track of who, what, where. But Jennifer, I'm going to take a stab.
You can't lose track of me. Come on, Michael.
I never could.
So, yeah, right now I think is the perfect time to start building your brand into expert status. And really to do that, you want to think of how you want to be known. Like your brand is decided by other people. So think from their perspective, what words do you want people to use when they're describing you? How do you want to be known? That's going to build a strong brand. And then you need a really compelling message. And then you need to be able to reach people, the right people. So think about who your really niche target market is, and then figure out where are they hanging out? You know, what are they reading? What are they listening to? Where can you go and add value to their day with your knowledge? And, and then when you have this desire to make a difference, I think that you can make a difference all over the place.
And it's not right. It's not just how much we're making a difference in one area, but it's creating the team around you.
Right.
So at the same time, if I don't know how, if I don't know how to make that happen, I'm going to have those that I can network with, or that's why we build these teams. And that's what I'm just like Jacqueline. That's what she was talking about. If you ask me for somebody to do such and such, I know people who I can call, and basically I'll have a referral to you in usually 10 minutes or less.
Seen, known, and trusted.
That's it. And that makes a big difference. Mm-hmm. And so for everybody listening out there, we're not just talking because we enjoy listening to ourselves. Well, we might, but what we're doing is we're training you to think in a certain way, to maybe take it in a different way, which is why we offer the coaching, which is why we offer the time that these people will sit down with you if you connect with them. And if you can't connect with them for any reason, you just reach out to me. Text SBA to 26786. And at the same time, it's to make a difference in your life, to make a difference in their life, to make a difference, to solve as many problems as you can. And look, that's all we've done all day. All we've been doing all day is content, and solving problems and showing you certain ways to do it. You make your own decision how you want to go, but we're there for you.
Yeah.
So with a final wrap up, we just have less than like 30 seconds each. What is one thought you want to leave them with today? One thought you want to leave with them. And I always look for the person who looks like they're ready to go or they're bouncing their head. But one, for me, I'll tell you, if you took nothing else away today, is to make sure that in your life you put 3 coaches, 2 mentors, and a mastermind. 3 coaches, 2 mentors, and a mastermind. Albert.
I'd say take action, dude. If you listen to everybody's giving you amazing content, amazing thing. Maybe you don't get a mentor, but you're going to get 8 hours of power teams, awesome coaches, mentors, millions of dollars, and years of experience. Listen to this. Take some steps to go forward. It might be the baby step, but that one baby step could be the step you need to take your life, business, to the next level.
I'm just letting that land. Teresa.
I would say this: step away from the negativity right now. It's bringing you down. Check in throughout the day. Are these people raising me energetically? Am I falling? Is watching this news raising or lowering my energy? And when you do that, and when you clear the brain clutter and you start connecting with yourself in a deeper way, you find out who you are. You actually experience something called causeless joy, which is joy for no reason at all. So focus on gratitude through the day. What are you grateful for? Can be as simple as a taste of coffee in the morning, and then get away from the negativity, and your life will change.
Jennifer.
Become the expert. Share your opinions. You know, like experts have opinions and they're not afraid to share them. You want to educate your audience as much as you can. Like if you ever hear yourself saying, if only my clients knew, or if my customers only understood, or whatever group that you're trying to reach with your message, if they only knew. And so the more that you can educate them and make other people smarter in their jobs, the more you're looked at as an expert and your credibility level increases.
Berkeley.
Just one thought, you know, the older I get, the more profound it comes to my mind how important these two words are, hope and faith. And so I would, key message here is hope and faith coupled with an idea. Power Team has, in their sessions that they do, advanced extremely powerful ideas. If one of those ideas has resonated with you, let that be a seed in your mind and nurture that seed in the spirit of hope and faith. And all the counsel and advice that's been given here about positivity, it's have hope in yourself, have faith in yourself, and just do it, pursue it, and move forward. But let that hope and faith and that seed swell within your heart and your mind, that it causes you to take action.
Amazing. Blair.
I would say that if you are thinking about something for far too long, then investing in a coach in whatever realm it is that you don't study, that you're not good at, is the thing that can take you to the next level. You don't have to be in shape to hire someone to help you. We make your life easier. Just like every other field who's here right now, right? They're the expert in the field. And so when you hire someone in that realm, they get to simplify your life, and you can keep doing what you do really well while someone else can help you either elevate your own personal life or elevate your professional life. I just hired a trainer so he can help me work on whatever weaknesses or imbalances I have, so then I can take a step back to move forward. And I just really recommend it for everyone. If you've never had anyone help you with your fitness, your training, your health, that it really makes a world of difference to have someone guiding the process. So.
It really does. You know, I want to thank all of you for being on. I want to thank you for the amazing advice, the solutions, the tips that we can use right now, for just being part of everything at Power Team, having your own amazing businesses. And again, to work with this group, this amazing group, and any of the panelists you heard today, just go to ipowerteam.com/freedom. Go to ipowerteam.com/freedom. I'm going to let the panelists go, but I'm going to give yourselves a huge warm round of applause, because you guys.
Thank you, Michael. You're an awesome host.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Bill. Really,
Thank you. Myself and Bill and Power Team, you guys rock and roll. Just have a great morning, afternoon, evening, and then everybody else stay on, because I'm about to bring our CEO up to just rock your world. Albert, I will see you soon. Teresa, soon. Jennifer, bye. Berkeley, goodbye. Blair, have a great day.
You too.
All right, fantastic. Now we're about to rock this house, right? The information you're about to get is one that will take you to that next level and make a difference in your life. But just for a moment, go ahead and move around. Get some energy going. Get some energy going, because this is big time. What's the word? Big time. What's the word? Big time. Big time, big time, big time. All right, I'm also texting to the team. Okay, great. So it is really about making a difference. It's making a difference in the world. It's creating a solution set so people can change and shift. It's what we did. We talked about that earlier. This next gentleman I'm going to bring up, you heard from him earlier. If you're new on the stream, he has spoken all around the world. He has taken businesses from zero to hundreds of millions. He has students in every single country. He is one of the top rated coaches on the planet, business coaches. He's created a powerhouse of a company called Power Team that has not only 300 live events, but has a virtual suite every single week to be there for you, to drive the content, and to make a difference in your life. Without any further ado, and most of you know who he is, and if you don't, you've got to look up Power Team. Let's give it up for our CEO, Mr. Bill Walsh.
How are you? Great job today. What a great, just a great lineup today overall.
Great.
Did you have some fun today?
More than fun.
Yeah, well, that's what it's all about.
It is.
You know, I think what's nice about this platform that we've added more panels, we've got more people plugging in. It's neat to see the interaction, even the rebroadcast. We've now served more than 1,000 coaching sessions from this class alone. So it's pretty neat to see how many people actually been through some coaching with different coaches that we have and speakers and trainers. We're launching something brand new called the Small Business Experts. We're going to make that part of our consulting group and be able to feature more of our speakers and trainers and coaches and do some revenue shares with them. So if you're looking for a new stream of income, just text in SBA to 26786. Michael told you about that. Text SBA to 26786. We've got a lot to cover today. I want to share with you quickly, though, that I invited a very special guest on this afternoon, not on the roster, but someone that's brilliant at helping you understand the power of really owning and being able to go beyond your vision, right? It's great to have a vision, but how do you go beyond that vision? And how do you step into it with purpose, really be on your path, have the greatest power in place, but be willing to reach out? You know, one thing we were talking earlier today, she said, people have to know they've got someone they can go to. People right now during all these crazy times have to know they've got someone in their corner. I can tell you that this next speaker that I'm bringing on, she's been an eye doc for 20 plus years, but her real genius is really in working with people to help them understand their gifts and how to monetize their gifts, to help them understand their challenge, how to break through their challenges, how to really see where they're supposed to be playing, not where they see themselves playing. And when she works with any of our clients and she helps them understand the power beyond your 2020 vision, you know, you think 2020 is perfect. It's not perfect. She'll tell you that there's even better. There's even more past that. So when you get a chance to spend time with her, and she's offered to do some coaching sessions, anyone that's on here, complimentary for up to 20 minutes. And I would, once again, I recommend you take advantage of that. It's on the page, ipowerteam.com/freedom. But let me bring her on. I think let me just go down. We've got a lot of people still here in the speaker holding tank down here. Dr. Susan Trong, how are you?
I'm well. Thank you, Bill.
You might have to unmute your phone for me. Now I can hear you. You're good now.
Okay. Is it good? Okay. Thank you for having me on. Thanks.
I got you good. You're good. So glad to have you on.
Thank you.
If you wouldn't mind, could you take a few minutes and just share a bit of your story with some of our listeners from all over the world?
I am, for the last, as Bill has shared with you, for the last 20 years, I've been practicing, and I still practice as an optometrist, an eye doctor. So I literally help patients to have great sight, 20/20 vision as we know it, right? We hear 20/20 as perfect vision. But as a coach, I inspire you to live into your vision, because sight is a function of your eyes, but vision is a function of your heart. You don't need this to live into your vision. It's got to start here. And my business, I call it Beyond 20/20 Vision. Again, because we hear perfect vision as 20/20, and it's like, okay, is that it? Do we just stop there? But no, that is a standard set by us eye doctors, by the industry, but you need to set your own standard. And that standard goes way beyond 2020. We know perfect doesn't stop at 2020. It doesn't have to stop at 2020. You need to decide when are you going to decide to be your CEO of your own life and set your own standard way, way beyond 2020. Because next time you head into for an eye exam, you look at that eye chart, it doesn't stop at 2020. We stop it there because, again, that's our standard. But beyond perfect in the eye industry, in an eye exam, we call that 2015, 2010. When is the best time to be the CEO of your life, to take charge? Well, if it's not now, then when? This is the best time ever. If this, during this whole lockdown, if this is not a major wake-up call, what else are you waiting for? You scheduled, you wanted a wake-up call. This is it, folks. So if there's always been something you wanted to do, better health, I want to leave this job that I haven't been happy with for a long time. I want to turn my hobby and monetize that into, the age of the internet, get that business on the internet. This is it. And I still see patients on a daily basis. I see patients six days a week still. And fortunately, I've been pretty busy with that. But I'm not just an eye doctor. I don't want to be just an eye doctor when patients come in to see me and they're sitting in the exam chair. I dig deep into your history when you're with me. Okay, your medical history, and that everything relates. Your lifestyle, stress, what's going on, what's causing you, because how you are sitting in my chair, mentally, physically, emotionally, in every way, that affects your outcome with your visit with me. So when you're with me, and as I dig deep, again, this is me coaching in my exam with my patients, but this is me coaching you when you're in that coaching exam room with me, with Esmond, and you'll get the information later on when Bill mentioned there your complimentary 20 minutes call with me, as we dig deeper as to where do you want to go? Where do you want to be after this lockdown? After we get out of this, here we are, we're heading into third quarter. Whether it's third quarter, fourth quarter, we don't know where it's all going to go with this whole virus pandemic, where many of us are taking it one day at a time. What else can we do and just make the best of each day in our personal life or our business life? But even then, let's talk about prepping for 2021. So the question you got to ask yourself is, when, I'm not going to even tell you when, now is the time to decide, I'm going to be CEO, I'm going to take charge. And I hear this from patients pretty darn frequently. And you guys have heard the stats, the layoffs, the furlough, the unemployments. Am I going back to the same job? What's happening work-wise? How am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to feed the family? I know this is not easy, but take it as a blessing. Whatever changes you've wanted to have taken place a while back before this whole pandemic and lockdown, for yourself, for your loved ones, this is the time. You may know you have this vision of this ideal life. This is where I want to be after we get out of this madness, whether it's the end of this year or into 2021. First and foremost, you got to be able to visualize that. Okay, that is the highest state of your visual system. Close your eyes, visualize, what is that life going to look like? How do you want it to be when you get out of this lockdown? Because if you can have that picture and you're so focused and you have that best clarity, then you're going to have better direction. Okay, you're going to have a best clarity as to that path. I know where you know where you want to go. I like to believe. I don't like to believe. I believe that many of us, including myself, know where we want life to be. That ideal life, how we truly want life to be, how we want to truly live after this lockdown. We know what we want. How do we get there? Don't be ashamed to ask for help. Us coaches, If you've been on this stream for a while there, prior to me coming on, we had the panels. As coaches, we have different areas of expertise. We're here for you. Don't be ashamed to reach out. Don't be ashamed to ask for help. You know, I used to be like that. I used to be, hey, I'm good. You know, I don't need any help. I'm cool. I know it all. No, I don't. I don't know it all. That's not a good mindset to have. It's always this mindset, as Bill Walsh, one of my coaches, my mentors, says, first and foremost, be coachable. Are you coachable? You need to answer that for yourself. If you're coachable, we're here for you. We're going to help you to even expand your mind, your life, helping you to get to that vision of that life beyond 2020 after we get out of this lockdown a bit easier. So many people know where they want to be, but they don't have that blueprint. I know where I want to be, but how am I going to get there? We work with you, we coach you, we dig pretty deep, and not a bad thing, because when we dig deep is when the real pains surface, because you've got to face whatever pains that's holding you back. Pain, struggles, call it whatever you want. You got to get it out there. So, and face it, address it, overcome it, so that it makes it easier, so that your energy, you'll have more energy focusing and heading down to that path of that life that is so way beyond 2020. And that is something I want you to take a pencil, pen, paper, write it down right now. As you're visualizing, what does that life look like to you? What is it that you want for yourself? Physically, your health? Work-wise, whether it's heading back to work, starting your own business, being an entrepreneur, what is it that you want for yourself? And from there, for your loved ones. Because you're not going to provide as well for your loved ones when you don't have that clarity as yet. So first and foremost is got to know yourself well. Who am I? What am I? And what do I truly, truly want? And you got to be honest with yourself. And as a visionary strategist, I help you to gain that better clarity so that your life can reach far beyond 2020. And with that, we dig, and I'm going to tell you, when we dig deep, because I do coaching on a daily basis with patients, health and wellness, nutrition, stress of financial challenges now. I've barely got enough to make ends meet. Some folks are living off of unemployment. How long is that going to last? I've got to look at other streams of income and what I can help you with. Great. If not, I've got colleagues, coaches you've seen earlier. Everybody has their area of expertise, and we're all there. And I've spoken to some folks. I don't know why some folks are so afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid. That just gets another topic and speak upon, which is, are you living in fear or are you living in faith? I'm going to ask you that again. Are you living in fear or are you living in faith? And I will tell you, I'm going to encourage you, only one way to live in faith. One of the coaches on the panel that just wrapped up mentioned two things: hope and faith. Never give up on those. Never give up on those two things. So as you're writing down, when you write down, what is it that I want? What is it that I want for this ideal life? How do I truly want to live for me, my family, my loved ones? as you write it down, when you can better see it, it seems more real. It seems more attainable, right? It's like in your face. Now, you know you want that. Again, some of you may be great and say, yeah, I know what I need to do to get there. But again, if you need help, I'm here for you. Power Team's here for you. Don't hesitate to reach out. We are here. I have no hesitation asking for help these days. And to know, I know, yes, I want to go to you, right? We all, when we're asking for help, go to someone we can trust, someone we feel will be non-judgmental. So many folks are afraid of being judged. Okay, if you're getting that energy, it's like, forget it. Yeah, it's all about feeling the vibes, feeling the energy. And if I get that, I'm like, I don't think I can talk to that person. You know, and we want you to. We're here for you, and I'm going to tell you right now, myself with the rest of the team at Power Team and the coaches, the energy we give you, it's all high level. It's all high level vibrations. And with me and I would say the majority of the colleagues, if not all my colleagues on here and the other coaches, is we start with a simple conversation, just like right now. I'm conversing with you. I mean, you want to find me. You see the banner underneath there. Please don't hesitate to contact me, because I will get back to you as soon as possible. And it just starts with a simple conversation. What is it you're looking for? What is it you need? And how can I help you? If I can help you, that's wonderful. I can do most of the things when it comes, like I said, to help you gain clarity. And if not, I'm going to find somebody who's able to help you better than me. But please don't be afraid. I know and I speak this from personal experience, even myself, during this crazy times, there's like so much going on in your head, and you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And, you know, I know finance is at the top of the list. Do I start looking for work? Some of the states, it's starting to open up. Where do I go from here? And it can seem overwhelming and all meshed together. You don't know, where do I even begin? We can help you. I can help you. My colleagues, other coaches, we can help you to really just take a moment, take a deep breath, and really help you to sort it out, so that everything goes back to focus and best clarity of what is my life looking like beyond this 2020? Because 2020, that's great in my exam room. Okay, that's perfect vision. My patients love that. But for you, for all of us, I don't want to stop at 2020. I don't want you to stop at 2020. I want you to go way beyond that. And it's ironically, I mean, here we are talking about 2020 vision, 2020 sight, and in the year 2020. And I'm going to tell you, I mean, as a funny aside, but it's not so funny. And Bill saw this, and many of my friends and colleagues, when we're getting for the new year. And me as an eye doctor, I'm like, yeah, 2020, the year 2020, this is my year. I'm so excited. Yes, us eye doctors, we love this. And who's to know that it was going to turn out like this? But oh well, what can you do? I mean, sure, that would be great if we have this crystal ball and, you know, look at everything and know what to expect and all that. But that's this is real life, and you take it as it comes, and you just roll. You got to be fluid. You got to be flexible. You got to be adaptable. As Bill Walsh would say, you don't adapt, you're going to die. So we've heard this word used a lot during this whole pandemic. Got to pivot. Whatever you were doing, that didn't work well. Yes, life has changed. At the risk of stating the obvious, we're in a whole different world. And what are you pivoting to? What do you want? You know, you got to pivot. So I share with you, just reach out. Please don't hesitate. We are here for you. And thank you so much for listening. And I am so grateful for Bill Walsh and Power Team for this opportunity. Thank you.
You know, I just love Dr. Susan when you speak off the cuff, when you just speak from the heart and get on a roll. You're just unstoppable.
Thank you.
You know, and I'm even more excited to see you on more live streams and more live events. But you're one of the greatest speakers that just speaks from the heart. And you don't need to do this. You already make enough money and you've already done really, really well. But I know it's your passion and I know it's something you want to bring back. So if anybody here is going through a challenge or maybe you just want to elevate your game, get that coaching session. Take advantage of it. Thanks again for being awesome. Love you. Keep up the great work. It looks like I'll see you in Atlanta now. We're going to move Tampa to 2021.
Yes.
Just a little crazy in Florida still, so is what it is. But keep up the great work and keep helping everybody. And like I said, if you're listening today, please plug in, get a coaching session. If she does this as a complimentary gift for the time for 20 minutes, you better take advantage of it. So thanks again. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.
That's bye-bye.
I'm going to bring back to the stream my good friend, Mr. Michael Silvers. He'll close this event out for you, leave us some last notes. But what a fabulous day. So many great people, so many great speakers. The replays on YouTube, please make sure you go subscribe to our channel on twitch.com and also on youtube.com, both under Power Team Global. And please like our streams. That'd be great too. But other than that, just have a fabulous weekend. We've got incredible guests lined up for next week. And just keep getting plugged in and staying plugged in. The secret to success is not only about hitting those great shots, is avoiding the bad ones. So if our team can help you avoid some of the bad ones and some of the mistakes, or the coaches can help you avoid some of the bad ones, the mistakes, sometimes that can be a game changer for you. So keep your head up, stay strong. Let's go out there and serve some more people. I love you guys. Thanks for plugging in today. And Michael, I'll turn it back to you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Bill. You know, it's been a great day because there's so many different things that you've learned. And remember, we talked earlier, I'm going to grab my $10,000 diagram, but grab your diagram, right? And remember, we talked earlier. So everything you've learned today, how has it fit into your business funnel? Where have you put it? So like iHEART Radio and media, to work with them, I put that up here because what that does is that drives more traffic into my business, right? The podcast that I do drives more traffic in. Power Team, these calls drive more traffic in. Then what do you do with them? You know, at Power Team, we have Rainmaker Summits, right? 2.5 day business boot camp. We also have our masterminds, but we have our virtual mastermind program, which is online, so people can join us on the Zoom calls. You know, that's why we do what we do, because we drive everything that we learned into this. We had the speakers on, and if you want to get together with those speakers, they're ready to coach you and they'll take care of it. So just make sure the ticker's running right now, that you go to ipowerteam.com/freedom to work with them. So media, be out there, be ready to shift. Make a difference in what you do, which will make a difference in other people. I just realized every time I look up my ring light, I got to set it up a little higher next time. But make sure that you make a difference in their life and that you solve those problems. I want to thank everybody for being on. And if you love what you saw today and you want to be part of the team or look at what we're doing, we are creating expert panels of individuals. You want to text SBA to 26786. You're going to meet with me. I'm going to take a look how you fit. We have virtual panels. We have live events. We speak all over the world. And we can connect you, if it's not us, with the person you need to be connected with. Bill's been in this business, and so am I. I started it with my wife 20 years ago. Bill has been in this business as long as I have. And we know we've spoken on all stages all over the world. So we're there for you. If you have any questions, just text SBA to 26786. You get on my calendar. I'll make sure that we have a call. They're only 15 minutes. We get down to it. How's that? But if you're a good fit for our business or we're a good fit for you, we'll make it work. Those calls, I dive right in. So don't waste time and be there, right? And if you're not there, I just move right on. That's just the way it is. Because you're important and your time is important, and so is mine. I've got wife, kids, grandkids, family, right? We're all virtual now. And make a difference in what you do. Make a difference and make sure that we truly land this thing. I wanted to thank you all for being on. It's been an amazing day. So many learnings to have. We look forward to seeing you on. We've got Bill Walsh live on Sundays. We've got Success by Design, which is the virtual. It's really our vision to wealth on Monday nights. Mondays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tuesday and Wednesday is internet marketing, social media, and how to speak, and that's at 3 p.m. Thursday next week is our summit, is our powerful summit, and then noon every day, network at noon. We want to thank you all for being on. Join our team. Join what we do. Hopefully, we've brought you an amazing day and great content. I look forward to working with all of you in the future. I will talk to you very soon. Goodbye, everyone. Oh, let me do the formal. For myself, Power Team, Mr. Bill Walsh, and the family of Power Team, have a great morning, afternoon, or evening. So I'm rocking and rolling. I'm looking at my iHeart Media notes. All right, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye, everyone.